All right, y'all, we give praise, esteem, and honor to the living Elohim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. Speaking from John chapter 5, verse 39. Shalom, Sister Kelly. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and there they was to find me. And you would not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come by Abba's name, you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you, the Abba, the one that accused you, even Moses, of whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? Well, praise be to the living Elohim in the name of Yahushua. Let's get on over here to John chapter 7, verse 37. Sit down, be still, don't play, don't mimic, don't do nothing, but lift your head up, open your eyes and your ears, and pay attention. You understand? I'm talking to you. Do you understand? Do you? Are you sure? Are you positive? Are you affirming? Very well. Joseph, that go for you too, brother.
Sit down.
Shalom, Quran, man.
Sit down and sit back.
Well, come over here and get slapped then, since you got an attitude. Because we can jump you, nigga.
Shalom, man.
All that to make you feel like you're scared of somebody. Ain't nobody scared of you. Don't go about it. Learn some respect. Go from there. Go.
Sit down. Sit back.
All right, y'all, let's roll. Shalom said, man. John 7:37. In the last day, that great of the feast, Yahushua stood and cried, saying, if any man thirst, let him come unto me and drink. He that believe on me, as the scripture hath said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. This spake he of the Ruach, which they that believe on him should receive. For the Ruach HaKadosh was not yet, because Yahushua was not yet esteemed. So, Job 27, where we headed? We already done 26. We finished that yesterday. We in Job 27, verse 1, if you would. Moreover, Job continued his parable. What does this mean? If it said Job continued his parable. That means that this is go ahead, Sylvia, man. Give me Matthew 13, man. Give me 13 and 11. See that's pigeon poop for you right there, boy. That woman do to you. Splat you like this doo-doo on the back of his hat.
He answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of Shamahim.
That's right.
But to them it is not given.
It ain't given to them.
For whosoever hath to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance.
That's right.
But whosoever have not, from him shall be taken away even that he hath.
He say, and him who ain't got it, I'm going to take the little bit that you got.
Therefore speak I to them in parables, because they see not.
So I speak to them in parables, because seeing they see not.
And hearing they hear not.
And hearing they hear not.
Neither do they understand.
They don't understand. That's why he was talking to his friend. Remember, he said he continued his parable. So that, guess what that means? That means chapter 26 was a parable too. Go ahead.
And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which says, by hearing you shall hear.
By hearing you shall hear.
And shall not understand.
And you ain't going to understand.
And seeing you shall see.
And you ain't going to see nothing.
It shall not perceive. For this people's heart wax gross, and ears are dull of hearing. Their eyes they have closed. Lest at any time they should see with eyes and hear with ears.
That's right.
They should understand with heart and should be converted, and I should heal them.
They should be converted and they should be healed. See, let me show you something. What with Job friends, right? just in case you didn't know. Come over here to Job 42. Come on, Civic. Job 42. You can pick it up at verse 1. We'll work it down a little bit because I just want to share verse 1 on down anyway. So I don't need no excuse. Come on, Job 42 and 1, man.
Then Job answered Yahuwah and said, I know that you can do every, and that no thought can be withholden from you.
Can't nobody keep their thoughts back from this, man. Give them thought by definition so they can see what that means. Is it thoughts in your brain or is it your plots, plans, and devices? Let's see.
That is mizamal, that is purpose, discretion, device, or plot.
See what it is? So that ain't just your thoughts. That's the things that you purpose to do. That's the things that you plan to do. That's the stuff that your devices. See, some people think it's thoughts and it's just, I had a thought about slapping a nigga. No. This is the stuff you planning on doing. Let's take it a bit further so you can see. Proverbs 16 and 3. After Proverbs 16 and 3, Proverbs 6 and 16. Just for a couple witnesses. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 3.
Commit your works unto Yahuwah.
Commit what to Yahuwah?
Your works.
What's going to happen after that?
Your thoughts shall be established.
Your what?
Your thoughts
your
shall
what?
be established. Your thoughts.
So your plots, plans, and devices will be established if you commit your actions, your labor to Yahuwah. You see how that works? See, it's a lot of people. Their thoughts and minds are not with you. Give them works and thoughts by definition in the verse so they can know what it say now.
That's thought or device. That's Ma'ak Shabbat.
Same thing again. Your devices, your plots, your plans. Come on now, give them works by definition.
Ma'asa, that's deed or work.
That's your work. So if you commit your deeds to Yahuwah, then he'll set your plans in order. Because your plans will be according to his will. You understand? That's why Yahushua can say, not my will be done, but your will be done, because he committed his deeds to his Father. Therefore, all his plots, plans, and devices were established. Now go ahead and give him Proverbs 6 and 16. I got half of mine to share with y'all, Proverbs 24 and 16. Those who don't know.
These 6 does Yahuwah hate.
These 6
7.
Things do Yahuwah hate.
An abomination unto him.
And they abominations. What are they?
A proud look. Shed innocent blood. Eyes, wicked imagination.
Your devising swift or running to what?
Mischief. Speak
What
lies. And he
devise what? Wicked and what? Imaginations. Hold on, we got to pause for a second on the screen. Got a little unstable. We're a little unstable. There we go. So when you got wicked plots, plans, and devices, you an abomination to Yahuwah. See, Sister Bernice noticed here because we was in another room. They were talking about Velma from Scooby-Doo in the new movie gonna be a lesbian. You know what I'm saying? But you ain't shocked by that. But you know what I was shocked by? That nobody in the room knew that Scooby and Shaggy were stoners. I thought everybody knew they were stoners. But I told them, like, it's not overt that they're stoners. It's insinuated that when they slide off, they going to smoke. You have to also remember when Scooby-Doo, the time frame that Scooby-Doo is set in. It's set in the 60s and 70s, mainly the late 60s during the Woodstock, you know what I'm talking about, free love, get high era. So that's why when you get older, you know that Shaggy and Scooby were stoners. You know what I'm talking about? The others were not stoners. But yeah, Shaggy and Scooby were stoners. You know what I'm talking about? That's why they always was by themselves and came back home. You know what I'm talking about? So they were going to get lit. Like I said, in the adult film, the first one, they show smoke coming out the mystery machine. You know what I'm saying? And that's the insinuation that Shaggy and Scooby are getting baked. You know what I'm saying? That's just one of those things. It's known, but it's not known. It's not known if you watched it and you really didn't just put 2 and 2 together. You know what I'm saying? But when you look at it and pay attention, yeah, them boys were getting blitzed. You know what I'm talking about? But see, why did I mention that? Because that's a wicked imagination. That's a wicked plot, plan, and device of the individual who would want to do. Now, it's 2022. We already know they pushing sissies and lesbians on everybody. I mean, this was a conversation 7-8 years ago that it's an agenda. Clearly, this is known. There's no need to talk about, is it an agenda? Shoot, it's done. You know what I'm talking about? At this point, it's done. Derek said he used to watch a few episodes and they used to come out, the truck with smoke coming out. They definitely did. That's what I thought everybody knew. Hey, but some people don't perceive it that way. You know, a lot of things is always about perception and what you perceive somebody to do. You know what I'm saying? So, it wasn't no bad conversation. You know what I'm talking about? Everybody had a perspective. But at this particular point, it's ugly. Because, they pumping sissies everywhere. You know what I'm saying? They pumping sissies everywhere. I heard a dude going off on that Woman King movie. He had the whole panel looking stupid. Because he ran down the whole history of them people and said that movie is 100% historically inaccurate. You know what I'm talking about? Somebody say, well, it's a movie. But see, this is the plane, right? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Praise you indeed, man. Yes, sir. No doubt. Shoot, I feel you, man. So Quran says it's 1:45 over there. You know what I'm talking about? You got to get in the bed. See, Sad just said that he watched a lot of Scooby-Doo as a kid and never knew that. Because when you're a child, you don't know they stoners when you're a child. You know what I'm saying? It's when you become an adult and then you become a stoner, then you notice other stoners. I was a stoner. I know a stoner when I see one. You know what I'm saying? I smoked a lot of marijuana. You know what I'm saying? I smoked about an ounce a day, every day, for years. You know what I'm saying? So I know a stoner when I see one. And Shaggy and Scooby, they smoke weed. You know what I'm talking about? Ain't no doubt about it. You know what I'm talking about? They smoke weed. Ain't no nigga that who, if you don't smoke weed, you ain't hungry like that. Shaggy always sleep. You know what I'm talking about? Why ain't nobody else tired? Shaggy and Scooby always sleep. All the time. Man, that man was on that bud, man. You know what I'm talking about?
Dog with a friend, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
It's
It's a ghost down there. We got him seeing stuff. That's a nigga with an outfit on.
Hey, sit down.
It's all good though, man. I'm telling you, ain't nobody, nigga. What his name is? The blonde haired boy. Fred wasn't never tired. Dabney wasn't tired. Velma wasn't tired. But Shaggy and Scooby always in that band tired, and they come around there. Where y'all was at? Man, anybody who smoked weed know to slide off from everybody else to go get blitz. They always slid off. Yeah, that's straight up. Like, nigga, if you ain't got the slide off, you wasn't no stoner. You know, and we'll wear the Scooby snack. And they only wanted the Scooby snacks when they slid off. I know a stoner when I see it. Because I am that. I am that. You know what I'm saying? No. I mean, it's a part of you. It's not about what you get. Because being a stoner is a way of thinking. Oh, no. But I mean, that just, hey, man, it is what it is. I just don't smoke weed. But you don't stop being a stoner. Because stoners are relaxed people. They cool. They chill out. They like to eat. You know what I'm saying? Stoners are friendly people. You know what I'm talking about?
You chill.
Yeah, they like to chill out. Don't come bothering me. Leave me alone.
Sit. Yeah, stoners is friendly.
Yeah, stoners friendly people. See, you got people who smoke weed, but they ain't stoners. Stoners are nice people because they ain't even got to know you. You want something? Let's sit there and have a whole conversation with you about nothing. Just to share that experience with you. They make a whole new friend. You know what I'm saying? For real, bro. That's what I'm talking about. You don't need the weed to be a stoner. You know what I'm talking about? It's just a part of it. People think stoners are dumb. Most of them ain't. They just act dumb. Because they be relaxed. You slow down. You know what I'm talking about? And then you got a difference because you got white boy stoners and you got black stoners. See, white boy stoners ain't the same as black people who stoners. Definitely. That ain't lying. But come on, man. Proverbs 24 and 17 or 16, man. I'm just going to be brief with this for the people who don't know, because I know some of y'all done heard people use this verse out of context. Proverbs 24 and 16. Since we're talking about believing on him as the scripture has said, I'll throw this in here just for those who don't know, and then we'll get back on track. Proverbs 24 and 16.
For a just fall 7 times.
For a just fall what?
7 times.
He fall what?
7 times.
And what happened after that?
And rise up again.
He rise what?
Rise up again.
But what happened after that?
But the wicked shall fall into mischief.
See, a lot of people hear that and see, we all sin, brother, because a just man falls 7 times. That man lied to you when they told you that. Now, I'm going to tell you a true story. Some of y'all already know it, but for those who don't know it, I'm going to tell you again. See, my mama had a red Ford Focus, I believe. I was sitting in that car on the phone with somebody, and I seen an old nasty buzzard, that punk bastard, locked up right now for, I believe, 40 years for molesting his wife's daughter. I hope they molesting him right now as I speak. And I ain't being funny. I mean every word I said. The way he violated that little girl, I hope somebody violating him for the duration of his prison sentence. I hope his booty hole sore. I hope his knees are scraped. I hope his jaws hurt. Because that little girl is scarred. And he was touching on that little girl for a long time. You know what I'm talking about? And he's supposed to have been in the word. And supposed to have been a teacher of the word. And was very known and open about being in the word. And this man was going from congregation to congregation and city to city doing some of the things that he was doing. But see, he got caught putting his wee-wee in the lady inbox. So then he called himself repenting publicly for putting his wee-wee in this lady inbox, disrespecting his household, because he was married at the time to the woman whose daughter he was molesting. And he used that verse, a just man falls 7 times, and I was enraged. I was highly offended. And the information that pertains to this particular passage that you about to hear, it came to me right then. And I didn't want you to know. That was November 2015, pardon me. I'm talking about Joshua, son of Abraham, that punk bastard. That's who I'm talking about. That whole nigga locked up in the Michigan Department of Corrections right now as we speak. And I believe he got 40 years, if my memory serves me correctly. You know what I'm talking about? But I want y'all to look at something right. I want you to go to Proverbs chapter 26. You can pick it up at verse 23. I'm going to make this brief. I ain't spend a long time on this particular matter. I just want y'all to know what it means. You know what I'm talking about? And then y'all willing, you go study back on your own. Now, I can tell you, it is in the archives, and it is named what Proverbs 24 and 16 is. That much I can tell you. You can find that 7-year-old video. You would just probably need to hit from newest to old and put oldest on there, and you'll get to it faster. You know what I'm saying? But that one I can tell you because I usually name the videos after a verse. So I can tell you, you can find that one. Now, of course, we've dealt with it in different fashions over the years, but that one up video I'm telling you about right now, that was the next service after I got it. So like I'm talking about? So yeah. But Proverbs 26 and 23.
Burning lips and a wicked heart.
Burning what?
Burning lips.
And a what kind of heart?
Wicked heart. A potsherd covered with silver draws.
Go ahead.
He that hate dissemble with his lips. And
he that hate dissemble with his lips. Give him dissembled by definition. I didn't want you to know this talking about Judas, if you didn't know.
That is to scrutinize, to look intently at, to acknowledge, be acquainted with.
So he that dissemble or is acquainted with his lips, what he like to do?
Lay up deceit within him.
He lay up deceit within him. He got lies in him. Guess what, y'all? In John 13, what can you read about Judas? Not just that. Pay attention to the verse we read. What can you go read in John 13 about Judas? Huh? It's got the lie part. So what we could tie that in John 13 about Judas? He said he got deceit in his heart. Ain't that what it said? This say Satan entered into him. And Satan is the father of lies. You see how that works? Come on with it, man.
When he speak fair, believe him not.
Guess what? What he came to the master and said to him, hail, master. And then what he did, gave him a kiss on the cheek. He said, when he speak fair, don't listen to him. Why?
For 7 abominations in his heart.
What's in his heart?
7 abominations.
No, not 7 abominations. Then when you just read what them 7 abominations is, now I want you to do me one more favor. And I want you to come over here to Job chapter 5. And I want you to get you about verse 13. And we'll go from there. That nigga Jim Dan, that hell of a nigga. Cause nigga, you left me in this position. I appreciate that. Come on, man.
He take the wise in their own craftiness.
He take the what?
The wise in their own craftiness.
What he do to him after that?
And the counsel of the froward is carried headlong.
Headlong.
They meet with darkness in the daytime.
They meet with what?
With darkness in the daytime.
Guess when they met Satan, where they met him at? In the daytime. Come on now.
And grope in the noonday as in the night.
Guess what? Then he make it go dark in the noonday. They couldn't see. Come on, man.
But he saved the poor from the sword from their mouth.
He saved the who?
The poor.
He saved the humble and afflicted from who?
From their mouth and from the hand of the mighty. So the poor have hope. And
the poor have what?
Have hope.
Have what?
Hope.
And iniquity do what?
Stop her mouth.
Oh, sin get stopped. Come on now.
Behold, happy the man whom Elohim correct.
Blessed is the man that Elohim correct. Guess, listen to what he's finna say.
Therefore, despise not you the chastening of the Almighty.
Do not despise the chat. What have we just been talking about last week? Chasten your son while they're what?
Hope.
Okay. Come on now.
For he makes sore and bind up.
He make what?
He makes sore
and what?
Bind up.
Come on.
He wound and his hands make whole.
His hands make what?
Whole. He shall deliver you in 6 troubles.
He shall
6.
Even
7. Touch you.
So in 7, no evil will touch you. What Proverbs 24:16 said? A just man will fall 7 times, but he'll do what? Now, y'all know what the word just translate to in Hebrew? Zadok. You know what Zadok means? Righteous. How you a sinning righteous man? Let me show you how the Lord don't agree with that. Let's go over here to Matthew chapter 12. Give me about verse 29. Hey, mother, you just took a bath. You smell like soap. You took a bath. Hey, you know how to talk. Why don't you talk? Why don't you talk? Matthew 12 and 29.
Or else how can one enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house? He that is not with me is against me, and he that gather not with me scatter abroad. Wherefore I say unto you, all manner of sin and blasphemy shall be forgiven unto men, but the blasphemy against the Ruach HaKodesh shall not be forgiven unto men.
Go ahead.
And whosoever speak a word against the Son of Man, it shall be forgiven him.
That's right.
But whosoever speak against the Ruach HaKodesh, it shall not be forgiven him, neither in this world, neither in the world to come.
That's right.
Either make the tree good. And
make the what?
Make the tree good.
Make the what?
The tree good.
Or what else?
His fruit good.
Or what else?
Or else make the tree corrupt and his fruit corrupt.
Come on.
For the tree is known by fruit.
Get what? He said in another place, what? Good tree can't bring forth evil fruit, and an evil tree can't bring forth good fruit. So a just man can't fall 7 times in no sin. So that's bad teaching. That's bad teaching. Now you just seen 2 witnesses. He said if you fall in 6 troubles, even 7. What did it say he would do for you in Job? Go back and read it to him again. This is back in Job chapter 5, probably about verse 17, by the way. Stinks.
19.
Job 5 and 19.
He shall deliver you in 6 troubles. Yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch you.
He said no evil gonna touch you. Now, just so you can know, and we're gonna move on right there from that. It said a just man falls 7 times. I want you to do me one favor. I want you to give him the definition of fall in Proverbs 24:16 so they can see what it means. Lizzie. How are you, Lizzie? Are you well? Isaiah. I know you well because I seen you down there eating some chips.
That is not fall. That is to
no,
fall,
to
lie,
fall.
Be cast down, fail.
And it also means to be killed. So we read about those 6, even 7 abominations that Yahuwah hated. And guess what? What does the law say that you should not do? You shouldn't shed innocent blood, right? It's 7 things that they hated, right? And that was shedding innocent blood, right? Yahuwah hated, right? What did it say that Pilate said, I wash my hands of this man because he's innocent? What sin have he done? So did they not shed innocent blood? Did they not have a proud look by saying that this man, if he wanted a malefactor, we wouldn't have brought him? Let's not even go with that. Let's go with the proud look, because they say if you be the son of Elohim, come down from this tree. You saved others, you can't save yourself. Did they not sow discord among brethren when he say, hey, man, who you want me to give you? Barabbas or Yahusha? Let me give you Yahusha. They say, no, man. They say they convinced the people. Wicked imaginations. They killed a man. So the 7 times is not him falling in sin. It's falling in the 7 abominations hate that was worked by the scribes and the Pharisees in order to kill him. That's why Job said 6 troubles, even 7, no evil gonna touch him, because no evil touched him, because the just man got up. He resurrected from the dead. So Job 24:16 is about the sufferings and resurrection of Mashiach, not a sinner who say he righteous, falling in sin, but I get up. You ain't fall down and got up. That's a lie. You know what I'm saying? And when I say it's a lie, now am I saying that every person who teach that is a liar? Technically they are, but they're not lying intentionally. You know what I'm talking about? Because I would be remiss to say that I believe that 100% of the people that tell you that that verse means that if you sin, you just get back up, that they have no idea of any knowledge of the book to be able to say anything, to be intentionally misleading people. I genuinely believe, whether Hebrew or Christian, that people believe that that's what it actually means. But it's bad, though. That don't change that fact. It's bad work. It's not correct. The book don't support it. And it just is what it is. You know what I'm talking about? And I'm just mentioning that, and I gave you the baseline. You can go back and cross-reference your Job chapter 5. You can cross-reference the Proverbs 24:16. You can cross-reference Proverbs 26 and 23 completion. You can go back and look at Proverbs 6 and 16 and those abominations, and then go examine the Gospels and see if those 7 abominations happened to that man. You know what I'm saying? I see these brothers know. Well, we'll know he was on the phone. I don't think he was on the phone. But it was a brother. We gave him this, because I shared it with everybody. Like I said, I got the information because of a whole nigga trying to use that to justify being a degenerate pervert. You know what I'm talking about? I was highly offended by it. So I praise Yahuwah that the information even came. I was offended by that. You know what I'm talking about? But this individual took this information to other people. He couldn't properly explain it. So I had to go explain this to people, because they thought we were saying that he was a sinner, because people believe that that verse is saying that he fell in sin, even though nothing in the passage say nothing about sin. See the end part when he say, read that at the second part of the Proverbs 24:16. Because see, this Judas hanging himself.
For a just fall 7 times and rise up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief.
Fall into what? Give him mischief by definition. But for man, evil, sin, that's what Ra is. That's evil. So guess what, right? What did Job 5 say? No Ra gonna touch you. See, people don't like this here, right? And I remember that because the brother say, boy, oh, you know Hebrew? I say, no. They were like, you got to. Ain't no way. I say, man, I ain't never looked at that junk. None of that. These boys just swore up and down. I say, boy, you, and that's why I tell people, we look at the word, see what it means. But if you need to understand it, you don't need no Hebrew. All you need is the Ruach of Yahuwah. That's all you need. That's all you need. You don't got to know no Hebrew. You ain't got to read it, write it, spell it, talk it. You ain't got to do none of that. We look at the word so you can see what it means by definition. You know what I'm saying? But you don't need that if you got the Spirit of God. You don't need none of that. Because they can bear witness to it. Then they like, boy, you got to know Hebrew. I said, no. And they tested me and they thought it was a game and they seen, nah, bro. I don't do none of that. They thought it was a game. See, that's all esteemed to you. It ain't no game. You know what I'm talking about? We're going to go in this book and we're going to open it up. We're going to see what it's talking about. We're going to see what it means. Come on back to Job 42, man. You want to earn your keep? Come on. The civil don't work overtime. He had to clean houses today. I mean,
In the stadium last night.
42-1.
One.
Let me jump in if I need to.
You got to. You can't talk well over there.
And Job answered Yahuwah and said, I know that you can do every, and that no thought
I just went to that because it said no thought will be. Well, how many times you read it say, and Yahushua knew their thoughts? So what their thoughts was dealing with, he knew their intent. Come on now.
Can be withholden from thee.
Who?
From you.
No, go ahead and say who?
Who? He is he that hide counsel without knowledge. Therefore have I uttered that I understood not. Things too wonderful for me, which I knew
So
not.
he said right here, I'm talking about things I don't even know. See, Job said, oh boy, I'm dead wrong. You know how many brews out here talking about things that they don't even know? Why is you talking? You don't even know what you're talking about. Guess what? Go ahead.
Here I beseech you, and I will speak, and I will demand of you, and declare you unto thee.
I have heard
Of thee by hearing of the ear.
but now,
mine eyes see.
Didn't he sit back and he tell you that he came to give sight to those that were blind? You see what that say? Faith come by hearing, and hearing come by what? Where you think Paul got that from? Read it. Let me. He said, I heard of you by the hearing of the ear, but now my eyes see. Remember how I told you last night about that? Now you can see the things that you couldn't see because you heard. That's why he say, he that believe on me, as the scripture have said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. Because now your eyes going to be open. You're going to be able to see. Go ahead. Verse 6.
Wherefore I abhor and repent in dust and ashes.
Go ahead.
And it was that after Yahuwah had spoken these words unto Job, Yahuwah said unto Eliphaz the Temanite, my wrath is kindled against you
and
against your two friends.
For you have not
spoken of me right as my servant Job.
Say, so give him right by definition. Look what he said, right? He said Job. He said y'all didn't know.
Coon, to be erect, stand perpendicular, or to set up.
So you ain't spoke what was upright, like Job did. You spoke wrong. You know what I'm talking about? Listen to what he said. He said his wrath was kindled. Look at verse 8. Look at what it said.
Therefore, take unto you now 7 bullocks and 7 rams, and go unto my servant Job, and offer up for yourself a burnt offering, and my servant Job shall pray for you. For him I will accept, lest I deal with you folly, in that you have not spoken of me right, like my servant Job.
Listen what he said, right? He said, who will he accept? He said, I ain't accepting you. Guess what? Most of y'all in here notice because we done dealt with it before. That's your Hebrews 7. That he make intercession for Elohim always to those who come to Elohim by him. See, Eliphaz and Temanite couldn't come to Yahuwah but by Job. If not, the wrath of God was on their head. You know why? Because they was in error. And it show you the mercy of Yahuwah. No law was involved. And guess what they did? It show you exactly what we read earlier in Matthew 12. All blasphemy that a man speak against Yahuwah will be forgiven. But a blasphemy against the Ruach HaKadosh will never be forgiven. Because if you ain't speaking right on the man, then you blaspheming it. See, they were saying all type of stuff about Yahuwah they ain't had no business saying. And they wasn't saying it directly about Yahuwah. They were saying that as a means to condemn Job because they couldn't understand. They were condemning Job with no evidence that Job had done anything wrong. See, we done talked about that before, right? You got a lot of people in this world, man. When they see somebody who's supposed to be in the word going through something, they automatically say that person done sin. Don't be like that. That's what Eliphaz and Temanite did. They automatically accused Job without cause. They said you had to sin. Oh, you must have did something. And that's not always the case. That's not always the case. And guess what that go to? Don't judge by appearance, judge righteous judgment. You know what I'm talking about? And you already know in Proverbs what he told you. All you done thought about evil, and if you ain't got nothing good to say, that man say put your hand over your mouth. If you ain't got nothing just that gonna come out your mouth, put your hand over your mouth. That's what he told you to do. Some of y'all people told you to do that. Some of your mammies came through and slapped you dead in your mouth. Like this here. Shut up, girl. You ain't got nothing good to say. You look like you caught that a lie. You look like, no, I don't know. Your mama look like she come through. Bah! Oh, she ain't gonna do that. I know Deidre got popped in the mouth. That's why Muffin get popped in the mouth. They just passed it down. That mean Joanne gonna get popped in the mouth. Get the broom and hit you with the mouth with the broom. Your mother was mean.
No, I didn't.
No, I was just saying.
I just needed it.
That's what I come to.
Ain't nothing sweet about hitting me with no broom.
Oh, that was sweet.
They always here, boy, you hit me with that broom, boy. I'm sitting in the house like, boy, I'm gonna figure out a way to get away from here.
Tonight.
They don't love me here. Hitting me with I ain't never understanding you hitting me with no damn broom. You could have hit me with it. A broom?
It was more like a thread, like right in my nose, nice. It was like a thread. No, she's
It's a lot of stuff, right? I know children need to get chastised.
Put it right down your nose.
Dang, boy. Bella say aluminum foil box, jagged side once. That ain't right.
That's abuse.
That's abuse. I ain't gonna tell you no lie, boy. Certain stuff like this here, I ain't forgiving that junk. Hit me with no damn broom. Talking about, I don't understand none of that. There's a million different ways you could have checked me and hit me with upside the head with a damn broom. Niggas getting hit with pots. Dang. Oh, you talking about fit? See, I ain't finna do all that. I ain't finna hit no 15, 16-year-old child with nothing. They finna hit the door.
That's the only thing hits in the back.
Shoot, Bella said a full bottle of laundry detergent upside the head once. That nigga tried to kill you.
I was just trying to cleanse up.
You don't want to do. Oh, I'm tired of you. That nigga was trying to kill you. Yeah, come on, man. This nigga tried to wash me. I don't need detergent.
You think God Cajuns go to that?
Proverbs 20. I mean Job 27. I got you. I'm in Job 27. I didn't want y'all to see that in regards to the faith come by hearing come by the word. And then also the fact that it's a particular person that Yahuwah will accept. Because at the end of the day, Yahuwah didn't sin. I mean, Job didn't sin against Yahuwah. Y'all remember what it say Job's issue was? He was righteous in his own eyes. You know why he was righteous in his own eyes? Because of the law, and it wasn't of his faith. His faith was there, but he was trying to justify himself by what he had done, if you pay attention. All the things he would mention and what he done were things that were lined up in the law. And it go back to what we mentioned the other night. By the works of the law shall no flesh be justified, but by faith shall they be justified. Because that's what Job tried to justify himself by. Yeah, I ain't never grinded on another man. Why? I done fed the father. If I hid my iniquity in my bosom like Adam, all that. He was trying to justify himself by the law. That's what Yahuwah checked him for, because he just didn't rely on the faith alone. You know what I'm saying? Because Job had the faith, but he wasn't seeking to be justified by his faith alone. He was seeking to be justified by the law, by his works. And that's why by law, will no man be justified. Shalom, bro. You know what I'm saying?
So that whole thing about him enduring to the end is.
I mean, the enduring to the end part. See, this is the thing you have to look at. Yeah, we talking about the actual nuance of what was going on. So you got Job's friends; they're playing the roles of the scribes and Pharisees, because Job name means hated. So Job is being afflicted without cause. Yahusha was afflicted without cause. The text say that Job was a perfect man and eschewed evil or pushed it away from him. He had done no evil works. Yahuwah himself say, you have caused me to move against him for no reason. You understand? So when Job begins to lose things, what Job got to see, Job did the opposite of what you seen Yahusha do. See, when the scribes came to accuse and to tempt the Lord never entertained them. You know what I'm saying? Job entertained his friends because his friends were trying to condemn him. And in the midst of trying to condemn him, Job tried to justify himself by his works. You know what I'm saying? I've done this and I've done that. I've done this and I've done that. So when Elihu come through and go off on him, he going off on him because you didn't ascribe the righteousness to your maker. you should have ascribed greatness to Yahuwah and been justified by your faith instead of being justified by your works. That's why he said, I repent in dust and ashes. And it literally says that Job was righteous in his own eyes. And what makes a man righteous in his own eyes is to keep another law, because then he will owe you. And then when Yahuwah came through and checked him, he checked him to let him know it was faith that was going to justify you. But did Job sin per se? No. What he's trying to show you is that your justification comes by faith and not by the law in the eyesight of Yahuwah.
Faith without works.
No, that ain't it, because that ain't the same deal, because he didn't send Job to do anything.
Right.
See, when they say faith without works is dead, meaning if Yahuwah tell you to go do something and you say you believe in him and then you don't do it, your faith is null and void to you. It's not alive. Leaving his people. And even in that James, who said that, go on to get it for him. Come here, Muffineer. James 2:15. Since you keep peeking around the corner. James 2:15. Because I just want y'all to understand it. If I need to pull out some of this stuff in Job, then I'll do so.
If a brother or a sister be naked and is destitute
of daily food,
and one of you will say unto them,
notice he said a brother or a who? So they talking about somebody who in the faith. See, a lot of brews like to get off and like to deal with we doing stuff for the homeless. Nothing wrong with that. But he said a brother and a sister in the faith. Now, see, a good brother I know, man, Tommy, he was having this conversation earlier today, but that's the one you slid in there. Pat slid in there too. You ain't see that. He was in there for a little bit. He slid out. You know what I'm talking about? He had slid right in there right after I came in there. But what he was talking about, son, and of course, this is just, he viewed the word a little differently than we do. But he was looking at it in the aspect of, when you look at other people, especially Mexicans or Latinos, like if you ever been to jail, nigga, I seen this in prison, nigga, this John, wow. A Latino could walk in the dorm, none of them Mexicans, Dominicans, none of them got to know this dude. Soon as he walk in the dorm, you need something? You got something? Niggas hitting him off with the pack. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, man, he goes some hygiene. He goes some vittles. Whoop, whoop. Nigga, you know what I'm saying? You need something, come holler at me. No ulterior motives, no nothing. Well, you been where you done seen it. You know what I'm saying? Like 100, like no cap. It ain't on no, they ain't got to know him. See, if a nigga do that, he want your booty hole later. And I ain't trying to be funny. I'm talking about you come in the room and the moon pie on the bed, man. You know what I'm saying? Now I want that same thing. Nigga, when a nigga walk in the door, niggas is not calling you over here like, bro, you good? Well, here goes some hygiene. Here goes some food. And I ain't talking about from one person. They all come click up. So you see about 10, 15 of them. And they all taken from what they got to get it in one dude, make sure he's straight till his money hits. You know what I'm talking about? And you see that with them in certain towns that you live in. You see the Mexican people living in a 3-bedroom house, 17 deep. You know what I'm saying? But they doing that for a reason, because they're working in a cooperative fashion. You know what I'm talking about? And this is what Brother Tommy was talking about earlier. In a cooperative fashion, they're going to make sure everybody's straight. You know what I'm saying? They'll sit back and look at, if it look like your business finna fail, well, we'll shoot some bread over there so you can stay open. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, you need this over here? And he was referring that to doing things that Gentiles do who don't have the law, but doing things that are contained in the law, because that brother there holds stronger to the Acts 2, sell everything you got. We got everything in common. You know what I'm talking about? But the point of the matter, I know what he was talking about because I done seen it. I just seen some dude had a real Spanish cat, and he was showing that, like, boy, I done seen that in prison, though. I done seen that in the county. Boy, a Mexican dude walking that dorm, and all them Latinos coming together, and they gonna make sure he's straight till his money hit. And if don't nobody send him no bread, he gonna be straight as long as he in that dorm with them. You know what I'm talking about? Like straight up and down. If a black man walk in the dorm, he got to be looking around to make sure ain't no ops in there. Now, I will say it's a little different in Jacksonville. Like, a lot of times in certain cities, when I say Jacksonville, not in the city per se, but when you go up the road, you could have been beefing with a dude on the street, but since y'all from the same city, y'all gonna rock together because we got to stick together. You know what I'm talking about? Do cities be beefing like that in the chain gang per se down here? Not really. You know what I'm saying? But niggas gonna stick together. You know what I'm saying? We from Jacksonville, we gonna rock out. But black folks don't really do what I seen the Mexican cats do. The Mexican cats gonna look out for each other. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say them Latino people, they gonna look out for each other every single solitary time. That's in jail and out. See, we don't have that type of mind. You know what I'm talking about? But to be that selfless to the point of be like, bro, you good? And I'm talking about, and not know him. They don't know this man. They ain't never seen this man a day before in their life. They just looking at it as same blood, I gotta make sure you straight. So when he say if a brother or sister be destitute of daily food, because it tell you that in Galatians 6, he say, and that you should do good, especially to those who are the household of the faith. He said you can look out for whomever, but especially, like I told you before, everybody in here, everybody in here probably doesn't had dips, ups and downs financially, but ain't none of us been that destitute like, boy, I ain't got no food. To the point I need to ask a nigga like, hey man, I need some bread, I ain't got no food. See, you gotta thank the Lord for that. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe niggas have been like that and just didn't say nothing. I'm just telling you, you ought to say something. You know what I'm talking about? It's not that you shouldn't. It shouldn't be to no point where they feel like I can't say nothing because you think somebody gonna say something or they ain't gonna give it to you. Because that just means that we just need to go ahead and put the book down and hit the club tonight. Go and find the weed man and all that there. Because if you can't master that part of the game, we ain't gonna be able to master the rest. I can tell you that. If we can't master that part of the game, and I ain't talking about just for people who in this room. I ain't talking about just for people who on this stream. I ain't talking about just for people. That's not where that goes, sir. Now you have violated royally. Now you ain't seen no trash in the trash.
I look like.
No, you ain't look.
Like trash.
You ain't look. You ain't look. He did not look. Monica.
That's what he be doing on the job. That's what's going on.
That was exactly what he be doing on the job.
We see it.
He be throwing gum and stuff in them people's stuff. It wasn't no trash in that trash can. Lord James. That's what he like to do.
We got some glasses over here, man.
I'm telling you, he put him that though. That shirt ain't small enough though. You know what I'm talking about? Nah, see, he know. He know why I say that. And his shorts don't be short enough. You know what I'm talking about? Nah, that's a good brother we know, man. But boy, that nigga came in here one day with an outfit on, with them shades on. Boy, that nigga looked like James Starworth, boy. I'm talking about he looked just like him. You ever seen anything? You see him, you gonna see why a nigga call that nigga Lil James, boy. I'm trying to tell you, you see him, you gonna see why. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, all those aside, like, yeah, man. Yeah, that's how that's supposed to be done. And when I say that, meaning if you see somebody who in the household of the faith, you can't get caught up with well, she wear pants or he got on friends. So what?
Right.
So what? You know what I'm talking about? If you're gonna let that stop you from extending out bowels of mercy and hands of compassion, you might as well, like I said, just don't put the book down, man. Shoot, it's a nice club open for you. You might like to go to Jim's place. You look like in your day you go to Jim's place. You was waiting to be old enough, didn't you?
Don't ask me about it.
You wanted to go there. I never wanted to go. Her cousin liked to go. He be in there all the time. You know what I'm saying? You know what be in there for real though? The women that I went to school with still out here prowling looking for a man. It's over, baby. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody want that old drunk monkey. It's over. Don't nobody want that. Huh? Hot and ready. Old and ready. It's lukewarm. It's lukewarm at that point. You know what I'm saying?
He got to speak you out.
Yeah, when we were young, Jazz Code was right by it. I think they said they supposed to be opening it back up. God forbid. Jazz Code. I only went to try to go out there one time, boy. They closed the door on me. I ain't get to the door. They were like, "Too many niggas in. Fire hazard, y'all gotta go." I was a big club back in the day, man. And then see over there now on Arlington Expressway where that DR Horton got all them houses at. You know what I'm talking about? Man, that junk used to be a whole shopping plaza. Used to be a Publix over there. They closed the Publix, turned it to Evolutions. You know what Evolution was? A rave club that niggas went to. All they did was go in there and pop ecstasy and shoot people. He know. He know. Because when I was young, there was a movie theater over there too. Yeah, the nigga be in that roller because the niggas from the beach used to love to go in. I'm not going in there with y'all. I ain't going nowhere with anybody on white people drugs. Oh, Bella wants to know what age did everyone first go to the club? Well, we know Michael went when she was about 13 and a half.
That's right.
Deidre went when she was probably about 15. Bella want to know what age did everybody go the first time they went to the club. Callie probably went about 11 around there in Kent night. I was like, how old you were? Oh, you were grown. Callie said, you was alive. I was late off the post.
That means you was at the house club.
She was at the kick night. I don't even remember how old I was. I ain't like to go to the club. That wasn't. The Eric said 17. Said 14. Civic looked like he ain't never go.
I ain't do none of that talk with the college.
No, he just said it. He don't, man, you ain't been around this nigga. This nigga don't look like the type of nigga talking about go to no club. You know what I'm talking about? That ain't rude. You can look at some niggas and be like, that nigga don't go out.
Like, that nigga's not athletic.
You know what I'm saying?
Athletic.
Derek said, Trina said 13. I was right. I told 15. Ended up being grown, trying to sip on a margarita. How old were you, Michael? Huh? 19. This nigga lying.
I went down like 16.
How old
I ain't
you?
never been.
You say, I don't even remember how old I was. I don't think I went to no. I know I ain't go to no club till I was grown. Till I was 18. Brother Dre said 19.
My mom was always, I ain't about to pay.
Jay said 18 in her college day. She gonna type it in the chat. She's sitting right there. How old you was, Lee? What about you, little muff? You probably was going when I was in prison, wasn't you?
I was old enough.
She was.
Nisha, what you wore? About 10 and a half?
I was 17 back then.
You sneaking out. What they doing in there?
The club never been.
I ain't never like the club. I like to fight at the football game.
Yeah, but I was
Sit.
Oh, Drew said he went to the bar, but not the club. He was 21.
BLB.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I wasn't them like. And the first club we ever went to was a strip club. Matter of fact, them boys were amped to go. I remember that. Them boys were ready. It was Magic City. I told you about that. That when my homeboy went in there. Matter of fact, that nigga is a school principal now. It was two niggas that had no draws. Now the nigga who had no draws, that nigga in the church now. He go to Impact. You know what I'm talking about? He go to Impact. Oh, I'll never forget that one. I ain't gonna call the name. Boy, that nigga had on red sweatpants. We outside getting blowed. That nigga said, boy, I ain't got on no drawers, boy. I said, what? That boy had on nylon sweatpants with no drawers. Boy, we went up in there, man. Hey, we gonna move on now. This no lie now, cause we young. You know what I'm talking about? Man, we went up in there, man. I guess he got a lap dance. And nigga said, bro, she put it in through the sweatpants. Bro, look at the wet spot. I ain't never gonna wash it. I said, well, but them boy, but see, I mentioned that to tell you, like, hey man, this dudes didn't get no female attention. Y'all be thinking dudes be getting female attention. What? Because anybody who got female attention wouldn't have been that excited. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't have been that excited. I'm telling you that right now. Not to do that. Not for that. Nigga, I was in there like, boy, I ain't getting these hoes a dime. Nigga, I came here with y'all just to hang out. Nigga, I'm not coming, nigga. I smoke weed, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? Get these hoes my money, man. I get into the weed, man. You know what I'm saying? I get something out of it. I don't get nothing out of this here. I'm finna tease myself, be hard as Chinese arithmetic. You know what I'm talking about? Now I gotta go home. You know what's finna happen. You finna molest yourself. You compounded the injury. That boy say, I'm throwing quarters. I need my money. That boy, that's good. But yeah, though, man. He said, Drew said he went to the strip club and he was old enough. See, we was 18, you know what I'm saying? But some of them boys had already been in there. But like going to a regular nigga, I don't dance. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, I'm not stepping in no holes in here. And I don't want no woman in no club. If you in the club, that is already a sign that you are not a woman that I want anything to do with. You know what I'm talking about? Dudes be going to the club talking about you looking for a wife. You know what I'm saying? How? That's like looking for a wife in a dope house.
Oh, man.
You know full well any young woman in no club is not thinking about doing nothing wifely. Nobody going to no club looking for no wife. But you know the sad part is, women going to the club thinking I'm gonna find me a good man. You gonna find something. Now whether it's good or not is another question. But you gonna find it.
That's right.
Ain't nothing good in no club. I tell you that right now. That's a place of iniquity.
Like you told them boys in the strip club trying to preach.
Now see, they wasn't in no strip club.
Wherever they were.
They was having a pass. Or Tavon said he was 16, but his aunt was the promoter. He said, Jerry said he never saw the point of going to the strip club. Why pay for what I can get for free? You know what I'm saying? But see, you ain't even getting none at the strip club. You're playing to tease yourself. Now, some people like it for a good time. You remember what Maul say? I'm just here for the wings, nigga. $100. Well, I got your holders.
James 2:15.
James 2:15.
If a brother or sister be naked and destitute for daily food, if one of you say unto them, depart in shalom, be warmed and filled, notwithstanding you give them not those things which are needful to the body.
So what was good is these might depart and people still home. Come on, man.
What profit? Even so, faith, if it have not works, is dead.
It's dead. Being by itself. Know the way, then and I quote we the you going to do something, it's not faith without works, but sit your ignorant behind down somewhere. The Lord ain't sending you to go do that. Don't be telling people you don't faith without works is dead, brother. Go start that business. No, because that's not a work of the Lord. That's your work. And there's nothing wrong if that's what you want to do. But don't put that and say, I'm stepping out on faith, because that ain't got nothing to do with him. Him sustaining you financially and you doing that is your Yahushua son of Nun, chapter 1, verse 8. If you meditate on these laws and do what I say, I will make you prosperous in whatever it is that you're doing. You know what I'm talking about? That's your 1 Samuel chapter 2, when he say, you know, he could take a man from a dunghill and set him amongst kings. So, or what he tell you in Psalms, you know, increase in wealth is nothing, but if your riches increase, don't set your heart on them. So you have to understand the context if you're going to say that. That's why when you speak with understanding. If you're talking about doing something, you doing that because you're obedient to Yahuwah, and if he see fit, he will increase it. But as far as faith without works is dead, that don't pertain to that. That's what we have taken. I ain't gonna lie to you. My personal perspective, I believe that's a woman's thought process, and that they permeated that as far as doing something and saying that, and this men adopted it. Because I seen a brother share a reel today, I was disgusted. He was talking about men submit to. The man literally said, and niggas was agreeing with this, who supposed to be in the word. That's why I was disgusted. Talking about a woman make a man think he in control, but he in control. You a pussy nigga if you talk a thing like that. As far as I'm concerned, ain't a woman walking gonna control me or even be in the point where she thinks she controlling me, because I'm gonna do what I want, when I want, however I want, and that's what that is, because it's my vision and my plan and my will. At that point, you saying we control Yahuwah. If you think like that, that's why I say that's a wrong type of mind. Ain't no man taught you that. You wasn't raised by no man, and no man told you no nonsense like that. You know what the women like, black women like to say? The man the head, but we the neck, and the neck control the head. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. You know why it's the dumbest thing you ever heard? Because your neck don't move unless the brain tell it to move. Your point is that she has control of the man. Even though the man is the head, the neck tells the move the head. So therefore, I subliminally or in the shadows control what the man does under the illusion that he is the authority. That's what that means. Yeah, that's see, I ain't gonna tell you no lie. That's hoe talk. Yeah, that's harlot talk. That's Jezebel talk, literally. Not saying a woman, that's Jezebel talk. You know what I'm saying? And that's weak man talk. Because if you a man, if you an actual man, you would never be subliminally controlled by a woman. You know what I'm saying? The reason being is you would have so much control over your own life and discipline over your own life that she's fitting into what you got going on. And most men are just not that dominant. You know what I'm saying? And when I'm talking about dominant, I'm not talking about seeking to dominate over a woman. I'm talking about seeking to be dominant over their life. You know what I'm talking about? So then therefore, because they're dominant over their own life, then this woman knows that she got to fit into him. That's why I was telling y'all that about the aspect of Giselle being mad with Tom Brady, him not quitting. Because that is a covert move to see if I can exercise authority to be the dominant force in his life versus him being dominant in his own life. And he showed himself to be a man by saying, no, I want to play and I'm going to play. I need you to be here with the kids. Man, F them kids. But you know, I done told you this before, all jokes aside, right? You know it got to be serious. This man been married to this woman for 13 years. And after 40 days of being at home with her, knowing that he wasn't going to play no football, that man said, I would rather get hit upside my head and tackled than to spend another day in this house with you. Literally. I ain't even saying that to be funny. That's literally what his actions show. Y'all know that most athletes get divorced. I've told you this before, within 3 years of retiring. See, it's real easy to fake love a nigga who ain't never home. If he ain't never there, you can love him. You can act like you love him all you want. He ain't never there. But when he retired and now he home, see football players, that junk different. Because them niggas be home. They only play once a week. They don't leave to go out of town until the Thursday or Friday before a game. Yeah, she definitely was on camera saying she was a witch, and he definitely said that his wife cast spells before every game. Tom Brady is on camera saying as such. That's what Brother Brady said. She was on camera saying she a witch. She said and she said, you lucky, I'm a good witch. That is factual. I've seen that tape. I've seen it. I've heard it. You know what I'm saying? He ain't making that up. You know what I'm saying? If you want to do your own research and look that up for yourself, you could probably find it quite easily. You know what I'm saying? But it's just the thing, right? And the reason why I'm only mentioning this here is because how people frame it against Yahuwah. Because when you say certain stuff like that, and the man is supposed to be in the image of Elohim, and the woman is supposed to be in the walkings of Yasharal, then this is how you saying that Yasharal would have influence over the Almighty. And that's blasphemous. You know what I'm saying? This is not to say that a woman can't have input. We know that because Sarah had input. You know what I'm talking about? Abigail had wisdom and gave input. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, come on, man. We're not saying that. That's not to say that a woman can't talk. Like, these dudes were sitting here arguing about, can a woman, does a woman have to be with the man her father chooses to marry? But we talked about that before. What happened with Rebecca? They asked her if she wanted to go. So it's not like, oh, you got to be with this man. It's just 99.9% of the time, the woman will go ahead and trust her father's judgment and go with that man. But she had a choice. They were even talking about the daughters of Zelophehad. Y'all know about the daughters of Zelophehad? Well, I'm not going to read it, but I'll tell you about it. You can go read it yourself in Numbers 27. The daughters of Zelophehad, father died, and guess what? He had no sons. And they said they were talking about the inheritance. But in that, they told him that they could choose whoever they wanted to marry, but he needed to be of their tribe so the inheritance wouldn't leave out of their father's tribe. So if a woman couldn't choose who she wanted to be married, see, we talked about this before. It just wasn't customary that a woman picked a man on her own volition. It was customary that the father made that selection. But it doesn't mean that she just had to be, because you know when you see arranged marriages on TVs and movies, that's how they make it, right? You're going to be with him and that's it. I don't love him. She loves some bum nigga around the corner. You know what I'm saying? Or like what you seen in Coming to America. I need a woman to stimulate my loins and my mind. And he went over there and got a whore. I told y'all when I seen Coming to America 2, I was offended. You the king and you let a nigga kick you out your bed? To hell you say. You know what I'm talking about? I'm the king. I'm on the money. You get out of here. But it show you how they want you to be a weak man and always be subservient to a woman. Even if you're the most powerful man in the land, your wife can make you go sleep on the couch. You think you're going to make the Lord go sleep on the couch? I know like this here, right? But I'm just being the man of the house, the husband. I'm the king. I ain't going nowhere, ho. I ain't going the king. I'm the sovereign ruler. The whole land moves at my word. Ain't nobody bucking me in my house. The king? Come on, man. That don't even make sense. Come on, man. James 2 and what?
18.
James 2 and 18. That don't even make sense, bro.
Yea, a man may say, you have faith and I have works.
That's right.
Show me your faith without your works, and I will show you my faith by my works.
Come on.
You believe that there is one Elohim, you do well.
And what else?
The devils also believe and tremble.
And do tremble.
But will you know, O vain man?
Will you know, O empty man?
The faith without works is dead.
That's right.
Was not Abraham our father justified by works?
By what?
By works.
By what?
By works.
Come on.
When he had offered Isaac.
Offered who?
Isaac.
And remember what we've been talking about. And Isaac what? And what did Hebrews 11 tell you? He knew that Yahuwah would raise Isaac from the dead. Come on now.
Upon the altar. See, you have faith, wrought with his works, and by works his faith made perfect. And the scripture was fulfilled, which said, Abraham believed Elohim.
And he counted it to him?
For righteousness. And he was called a friend of Elohim.
He was called a what?
A friend.
A what?
A friend.
You see how that goes? His faith was manifested by what he did according to the word that he was given. So when you're looking at faith without works is dead, it's congruent to the word that you have. Not just you doing something. You understand what I'm saying?
Thank you for that understanding.
Go ahead, bro. Finish it out.
You see, then how by works a man is justified and not by faith only? Likewise, also was not Rahab the harlot justified by works when she had received the messengers and sent them out?
But you know why Rahab was justified? See, when you look at these works, they were all works of faith. Rahab heard of Yahuwah. She heard what happened. She believed. That's why she hid them. No law involved. So no man is justified by the law, but by faith. Because what you seen with Abraham, there was no law involved. That was all faith. No law involved. Continue.
For as the body without the Ruach is dead.
As a body without the spirit is dead.
So faith without works is dead also.
So get what? If you're going to do the work of Elohim and you don't believe, you might as well go to hell. And I say hell, I'm talking about Sheol. Not the valley of Hinnom. I'm talking about the grave. You see how that works? Faith is, your works are only alive if faith is present. So the just, and what the book say, the just live by what? Faith. See, faith is what makes you alive. See, you don't have to believe in Yahuwah to keep his law. But if you believe in Yahuwah, you'll keep his law. Because we know that. We done read about men who kept the law, but not with what? A perfect heart. So they didn't believe. They didn't believe. So don't get me wrong. You can keep the law and not believe. But if you believe, you'll keep the law. Because that faith is going to be manifested in your deeds. You know what I'm saying? That's how the just live by their faith. Because what makes you just, you righteous, and therefore because you've been justified by your belief in the word, then you live according to the standard. You know what I'm talking about? But you can live according to the standard and not believe in this man. You know what I'm saying? And it's many people in the text who got exposed for that. And I'm mentioning that because we're talking about Job. And Job believed in Yahuwah, but he didn't allow his faith to justify him in the eyesight of his friends. And I was going to mention this earlier. I'm going to mention it now. Remember what Jacob said to Laban? He said, my righteousness will speak for me. So Jacob allowed his faith to justify him. He didn't sit back and say, I did this for 7 years. I did that for 7. He ain't do none of that. He said, my righteousness is going to talk for me, bro. I'm out. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going back and forth with you about why I'm righteous or none of that. Because my righteousness is going to speak for me. My faith in Yahuwah is going to speak for me. I'm out. That's why when you see Yahushua being disrespected by the scribes, guess what? Remember Psalms 38, if I'm not mistaken. Going to get it from the city, man. We go here, Brother Reynolds. You over here. That's what you came over here for. Psalms 38 and 1. Is that Abigail? You ain't sleep. Come here, boy. Come here, boy. What's up with you, boy? No, what's up with you, boy? Nothing. What you got going on? You over there eating crackers and chili, ain't you, that boy? Ain't you, boy?
O Yahuwah, rebuke me not in thy wrath, neither chasten me in the hot pleasure.
And your hot
In your
displeasure.
hot pleasure. For thine arrows stick fast in me, and thy hand presseth me sore. No soundness in my flesh because of your anger, neither any rest in my bones because of my sin.
Mm-hmm.
For mine iniquities are gone over mine head, as in heavy burdens, they are too heavy for me.
That's right.
Stink.
Drop down to verse 9, because we got to get it rolling.
I am feeble and sore broken. I have roared by reason of my heart.
Now you deal that, I'm exceedingly sorrowful, even unto death. And while your pride, his heart was disquieted. Come on, verse 9.
Behold, all my desire before thee, and my groaning is not hid from you. My heart panteth, my strength faileth me. As for the light of mine eyes, it also is gone.
My lovers
and my friends stand aloof from my soul.
What that is? That's your apostles. They left him. And my kinsmen
standeth afar off.
Go ahead.
They also that seek after me, after my life, lay snares.
You see that, right? They laid traps for him. We know what that is. Come on.
And they seek my hurt, speak mischievous things.
And imagine
deceits all the day long.
You see how this is taking us back to the Proverbs 24 and 16 and the Proverbs 6? Because some of y'all already, those who don't. The whole book testified of man's sufferings.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? That's why all those who enter into the kingdom of Shamahim must suffer great tribulation. Does that mean some will suffer as much as others? No. But there will be some manner of suffering that you're going to have to take. You know what I'm saying? Continue.
But I, as a deaf, hear not, and I, as a dumb man, open not his mouth.
He didn't talk.
Thus I was as a man that heareth not, and in whose mouth no reproof.
Did he correct them people? Come on, that's good. Psalms 39 and 1.
I said, I will take heed to my ways.
That I sin not.
With my tongue.
That I sin not.
With my tongue.
See that there? That's why you don't run your mouth. See, that's why he sit back, and that's what got Job in trouble, because he was trying to justify his friends. Notice he said, I'll take heed to my ways. I will not sin with my tongue. Look what he said after that. I will keep
my mouth with the bridle.
While
the wicked is before
you
me.
See that? See, that's what Job was supposed to do. That's what Jacob did with Laban. That's what Yahushua did with the scribes. I'm going to hold my tongue when the wicked is before me. That's why Yahushua told you, think not what you should say in that day, for the Ruach HaKodesh will teach you what you should say. You ain't got to go in front of these people trying to say nothing. You ain't got to do all of that. I'm going to do it for you. See, a lot of people get in the word and they got to come on. Man, ain't nobody going to do all that. See, you don't believe in God. See, that's what I'm talking about. See, you keep the commandment, but you don't believe. Because if you believe, you wouldn't feel the need to have to justify yourself in the eyesight of the wicked. I'm not going back and forth with you. I'm not going to argue and debate with you. For what? For why? My Elohim will justify me. There's no need for me to do it. Continue on, sir.
I was done with silence. I held my peace from good. My sorrow was stirred.
He said, I was dumb with silence. I held my peace.
From good, my sorrow was stirred.
Now drop on down to verse 8 and listen what he say right here.
Deliver me from.
Now this David writing this now. Listen to it.
Deliver me from all my transgressions.
Make me not.
The reproach of the foolish.
I was dumb.
I opened not my mouth.
Because
Thou didst.
he said, I kept my mouth closed. Who you think he talking about? Who you think he talking about? See, remember, David was a what? He was a prophet. So he got visions of his esteem. He said, I ain't open my mouth because he ain't never seen you who would be in no position to be reproached and he ain't talk. But guess what you also seen? Many people ran their mouth against you. You don't see you who are opening up shop and he ain't running his mouth to these people. For what? Remember what David told his servants when Shimei came cursing him? What he told him? He said, let him curse. Maybe Yahuwah turned his curse into a blessing this day. Let that nigga run. This the king. And he telling them, he's setting you an example. Let him run his mouth. So when they came and cursed Yahushua, he was showing us an example. Let him talk. Why you care what they say? Why you feel the need to defend yourself? See, come on around here, man. Go ahead and get Isaiah 54 and 17 said with haste. Quickly. Hey, Muffin. Your mama did that to your hair? It looks nice.
No weapon that is formed against you shall prosper.
No what?
No weapon.
You know, that's every Christian favorite line right here. Ain't it? Now, we didn't talk about this verse and showed y'all what it means on a multitude of occasions. But for those who ain't never heard it, we'll do it again. Isaiah 54 and 17.
No weapon that is formed against you shall prosper.
No weapon formed against you shall prosper.
And every tongue shall rise against you in judgment.
Every what?
Tongue rise against you in judgment, you shall condemn.
You shall what?
Condemn.
See, that's what Job was doing to his friends. They were rising up against him in judgment. Guess what he did? He condemned them. But he shouldn't have been. He just went about it in the wrong fashion. Now, you notice this here? Somebody get me Luke 12, man, about verse 5. Stay where you at, David. Luke 12 and 5. I think that's got what I just referenced.
But I will forewarn you, whom you shall fear.
Who you gonna fear? Matter of fact, just give him verse 1, man. We run it all the way down. It ain't gonna hurt nobody.
In the meantime, when there were gathered together an innumerable multitude of people, insomuch they trod one upon another.
That means they stepped on each other.
He began to say unto his disciples.
What he said?
First, beware you of the leaven of the Pharisees, which
is
hypocrisy.
Unfaithfulness.
For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed.
There's nothing covered that won't be revealed.
Neither hid that shall not be known.
That's right.
But even the hold
I gotta tighten up now.
Nah, I switched it, my bad. Therefore, whatsoever you have spoken in darkness shall be hid in the light.
That's
heard
right.
in the light. And that which you have spoken in closet shall be proclaimed upon the housetops. And I shall say unto my friends, be not afraid of them that kill the body.
Don't be scared of somebody who could kill the body.
After that, there is no more that they can
Ain't
do.
nothing else they can do.
But I will forewarn you whom you shall fear.
Who should you fear?
Fear him which after he have killed have power to cast you into
I
hell.
say, fear him. Go ahead.
Are not 5 sparrows sold for 2 farthings?
Mm-hmm.
And not one of them is forgotten before Elohim?
Mm-hmm.
But even the very hairs of your head are all numbered.
That's right.
Fear not, therefore, you are more valuable than many sparrows.
There are many sparrows.
Also I say unto you, whosoever shall confess me before men, him shall the Son of Man confess before the angels of Elohim.
That's right.
But he that deny me before man shall be denied before the angels of Elohim.
That's right.
And whosoever shall speak a word against the Son of Man, it shall be forgiven him.
Mm-hmm.
But unto him that blaspheme against the Ruach HaKodesh, it shall not be forgiven.
He ain't got no forgiveness.
And when they bring you into the synagogue,
there we go.
the magistrates and the powers, take you no thought.
Take you know what?
No thought.
Take you know what?
No thought.
Okay.
How or what thing you shall say, you shall answer, or what you shall say.
For
the Ruach HaKodesh shall teach you in the same hour what you ought to say.
You ain't got to say a word.
Amen.
And you know why you wouldn't have to say a word for the Ruach to teach you? Because you'll let your faith justify you, not versus justifying yourself, what you seen Job doing. You understand? What? Come on, say it. Where you at again? Isaiah 54:17. Started from the top again.
No weapon that is formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue shall rise against you in judgment.
You shall what?
Condemn.
You're what?
Condemn.
That's what you just seen in that Luke.
This, the heritage of the servants of Yahuwah.
This is the what?
The heritage of the servants
Y'all
of
know
Yahuwah.
what heritage is, right? That's what their inheritance. Go ahead.
And the righteousness of me, say Yahuwah.
And their righteousness is of me. Not of the law, but of me. So when he tell you no weapon formed against you shall prosper, he talking about those who are in the faith, whose justification is of faith through Yahushua HaMashiach. Not of the law, not of men, but of Elohim himself. That's what also, that is why the weapons that Satan sought to have prosper against Job, that's why they did not prosper. You know what I'm saying? Of course, y'all know everybody use that verse, you know what I'm talking about, for a multitude of things. And it's usually to make themselves feel better when they feel like people hating on them.
You know what I'm saying? Weapon is article, vessel, implement, or utensil.
So that's somebody using something against you. And you can look at a vessel of Satan. Because so you got vessels unto honor and vessels unto dishonor. You know what I'm talking about? That's why I say every tongue that rise up against you in judgment, you're going to condemn it. Give them condemned by definition.
That is Rashad, that is to be wicked or act wickedly.
So guess what? Every tongue that rise up against you in judgment, you'll tell them that they wicked.
Or to condemn as guilty.
Wicked, a criminal. You'll be able to state that you're wrong. And not just wrong, but that you're wrong as a criminal. You're guilty against the words of Yahuwah. So let's come back over here. I need to get down now. Good day. Let me see what we got to work out here in Job. Because since we keep referencing that point, come over here to Job 31. It's probably not Job 31, but we're going to see. Let me see what I want. There it is, Job 32:1. Job 32.
So these three men ceased to answer Job because he was righteous in his own eyes. Then was kindled the wrath of Elihu in his own eyes.
Because he was righteous in his own eyes. Hold on, we got a unstable connection. Let it get okay. Keep on going. Verse 2.
Then was kindled the wrath of Elihu, the son of Barachiel,
Buzite
of the kindred of Ram,
against Job
was his wrath kindled
because he justified
himself rather than Elohim.
Give him justified by definition.
Sadak.
So he made himself righteous rather than Elohim. Pause. Give me Romans chapter 4, verse 1. Said it with hate.
What shall we say then that Abraham our father, as pertaining to the flesh, have found?
What he found?
For if Abraham were justified by works, he hath to esteem, but not before Elohim.
You see that? You got what Job was doing, was he not? Read that part again.
If Abraham were justified by works, he had whereof to esteem.
He would have more to esteem, but not Elohim, right? Mm-hmm. Keep going.
But what say the scripture?
What say the book?
Abraham believed Elohim,
and he was counted
unto him for righteousness.
Okay.
Now to him that work is reward not reckoned of esteem, but of debt.
But of debt.
But to him that work not, but believe on him that justify the ungodly, his faith is counted for righteousness.
It's counted as what?
Righteousness.
Counted as what?
Righteousness.
Okay.
Even as David also described the blessed of the man unto whom Elohim imputed righteousness.
And what he said?
Without works. Baruch are they whose iniquities are forgiven.
Who what?
Iniquities are forgiven, and whose sins are covered.
Whose sins are what?
Covered.
Come back to Job 32. Read verse 2 one more time.
Then was kindled the wrath of Elihu, the son of Barachiel, the Buzite, of the kindred of Ram. Against Job was his wrath kindled because he justified himself rather than Elohim.
Cool. Pause. Brother Randall, go ahead, jump over here to Job 35:1 and let it run. I think you boo-boo, so you stink.
Elihu spake moreover and said, thinkest you think this to be right?
You think you right?
You said, my righteousness is more than Elohim.
My righteousness is more than Elohim's. Come on.
For you said, what advantage will it be unto you?
What profit?
And what profit shall I have?
From my sin. Listen to what he said. Listen, hold on. Listen to what he said. Hold on. What profit shall I have from my sin? What advantage is it unto you? Give him advantage by definition, Sylvia.
That is to be familiar with, by implication, to minister, be serviceable, customary, be advantage.
So what service or advantage will it be unto you? Give him profit by definition.
That is to ascend, figuratively, to be valuable.
So what value have I have from sin? Continue, Brother Renner.
I will answer you and your companions with you.
Listen what he say.
Look unto the heavens and see, and behold, the clouds are higher than you.
Stop. Not you. Go ahead.
If you sin, what do you against him?
Your transgressions
be multiplied. What do you unto him?
If you be righteous,
what givest you him?
If you be righteous, what you giving him? Stop. Continue.
Well, what receive he of your hand?
Pause. You see how that go right back to that that Romans? He said, if you be righteous, what you giving him? Listen to it again. He said, if you be righteous, what give you him? So you ain't giving him nothing by obeying his word. There's no gain. That means he owe you. Come on back to Job 32. You in verse 3.
And also the three friends was his wrath kindled because they had found no answer and yet had condemned Job.
So they didn't have nothing to say, but they were condemning the man. They were condemning the man. Go ahead.
Now Elihu had watched till Job had spoken because they were elder than he.
And when
Elihu saw that there was no answer in the mouth of these three men, then his wrath was kindled.
And Elihu, the son of Barachel, the Buzite, answered and said,
I am young.
And you
are very old.
Wherefore?
I was afraid.
And do not
show my opinion.
I said,
they should speak.
And multitude of years
should teach wisdom.
But
there is a ruach in man.
And the inspiration
of Elohim shall give them understanding.
So it's the Almighty give understanding. Listen what he say. Great men
are not always wise.
Neither do the aged
understand judgment.
See, that's the thing, right? You got a lot of old people. They still don't know right from wrong. They still don't know right from wrong. They still don't know what they talking about. You know what I'm talking about? And Job was a righteous man, and he was dead wrong. And he was dead wrong because he was trying to justify himself in his eyesight of his peers by saying, I'm righteous, and not ascribing righteousness to his maker. And the reason why he did that, because he felt the need to defend himself. You see a lot of people in this present day time who in this word who do the same thing, that they feel the need to defend themselves. That means you self-righteous if you would. Because if your righteousness was of Elohim, you would do no such thing. It wouldn't even be no concern to you, because eventually he will vindicate you. It's not an if he'll vindicate you, it's a when. Because it ain't but a matter of time. Your law tell you that. You do know that, right? But if you didn't know, get me Exodus 23:1.
You shall not raise a false report. Put not your hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness.
Don't put your hands with people to be an unrighteous witness.
You shall not follow multitude to evil.
Don't be following no bunch of people to do wrong.
Neither shall you speak in a cause to decline at the many to rest.
Judgment. See what they did? Don't be running your mouth to pervert judgment.
Neither shall your counsel.
See, Paul. See, that's what Job's friends was doing. They was running their mouth to pervert judgment. Because he said they condemned Job with no answer. They had no words of condemnation. They couldn't prove no condemnation against that man, yet they were condemning him. They had no words of condemnation against Yahushua, yet they were condemning him. And unless you forgot what we was looking at in Exodus 25, he said, everything you do according to the pattern that you've seen in the mount. And when he turned around and told you, destroy this temple and I'll rebuild it in 3 days, because see, let me show you something. 2 Chronicles chapter 7, Brother Reynolds, with haste. 7 and 7. Think, baby. 2 Chronicles 7 and 7.
Moreover, Solomon hallowed the middle of the court, that before the house of Elohim. For there he offered burnt offerings and the fat of the peace offerings.
So just go on to verse 14. That's too much.
If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves.
This is Chronicles 7 and 14.
And seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from Shamayim and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. Now mine eyes shall be open and mine ears attend unto the prayer in this place. For now I have chosen to sanctify this house, that my name may be there forever. And mine eyes and mine heart shall be there perpetually. And as for thee, if you will walk before me as David your father walked, and do according to all that I have commanded thee, and shall observe my statutes and my judgments, then will I establish the throne of your kingdom.
That's right.
According as I have covenanted with David your father, saying, there shall not fail thee a man to be a ruler in Israel.
That's right. Go ahead.
But if ye turn away and forsake my statutes and my commandments, which I have set before you, and shall go and serve other gods and worship them, then will I pluck them up by the roots of my land, which I have given them, and this house.
I will pluck them up,
which I have sanctified for my name, will I cast out of my sight.
Did he not sanctify Yahushua for his name? Can we not read that in John 10 and 36? You say, I blaspheme who the Father have sanctified because I said I'm the son of Elohim. Did he not cast him out of his sight? When he said, my Elohim, why have you forsaken me? Continue.
And will make it a proverb and a byword among all nations.
Now give him proverb and byword by definition, Civic.
That is a simile.
A simile.
A byword, a light parable.
A parable. So that means that the destruction of the house. Who is that? What is he got going on? That's an adult? Who that was? So think about that, right? You see proverb and byword, that means that this house would be a similitude of something coming later. See, he that believe on me, as the scripture has said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. So when you see that you'll be a byword in the proverb in Deuteronomy 28 that everybody like to talk about, that means, as we discussed before, what are some of y'all that's new to it? Because some of y'all who've been here already know this, that every curse in Deuteronomy 28, Yahushua, that fell on his head. You know why? Because he became a curse for us. Cursed is he that hang on a tree. Why is that important that he became a curse for us? That he got to be the curses in Leviticus 26, the curses in Deuteronomy 28, the curse in Genesis chapter 3, because the curse means somebody separated from God. So for a period of time, this man had to be separated from his father. And what makes a man be separate? Civic, Isaiah 59 and 1, for those that don't know what make a man separate.
Behold, Yahuwah's hand is not shortened that it cannot save.
His hand ain't short that he can't save.
Neither his ear heavy that it cannot hear.
And his ear ain't heavy, he hear every word. But go ahead.
But your iniquities have
separated.
separated.
But your what?
Your iniquities.
But your what?
Iniquities
have done what?
Separated between you and your Elohim.
And your sins
have hid his face from you,
that he shall not hear. So it's sin that separate, and you know that he became sin who knew no sin. And what got Adam separated from Elohim? It was the sin of his wife, not his sin. Because he took that sin on. Because the reproaches of them that reproach you fell on me. He took that on. That's why he say those that are strong ought to bear the infirmities of those that are weak. he took that disease on for her. See, we just keep running that down so you can see that Adam's whole story is Yahushua's story. When you got to understand it, you can't miss it. You can't miss it. See, praise Yahuwah for understanding. You can't miss it. That's why look here, man. I don't go back and forth with niggas. Niggas tell you that. These niggas tell you, I don't go back and forth with a nigga about no word. I done been on the phone with a lot of niggas. I ain't going back and forth with you. I already know you stupid before you got on the phone. And you know how I know you stupid? Because I had interactions with you before we got on the phone. So I already knew that you didn't come here to listen to nothing. See, it's not about if you agree or not. I don't care if you don't agree. You have a right to hold a different perspective, even if it's wrong. Because if Yahuwah see fit, he'll turn your heart. And if he don't, praise God. And if you do, praise Yahuwah. But I don't care if you got a different perspective. It's just that niggas be rude and disrespectful, proud and arrogant in their disagreement. You know what I'm saying? When we had that big fat Jolly Green Giant nigga in that room that day, that nigga embarrassed himself. You called me a nigga?
Oh, yeah.
But the reason why I say that is because he had no book at all to refute nothing that was being said to him. All they want to do is mock. And you know how do you know they hoes? It's one thing to let you know they hoes. That's why I ain't respect it. When you have a grown man and you tell a grown man, bro, you could call my phone, bro, and we could talk about this, or why we can't do it on Facebook. We could do it on Clubhouse. Let's debate. You a hoe. You know why I say that? Because men are having a conversation with each other, and there don't need to be no audience to have that conversation. So I know that you not no man. Because I offered for this man. I say, bro, here go my number, bro. You can call me. I put it on the poll. I say, call my phone, bro. And we could talk about it. Oh, nigga, wait, do it on. This to be the cap. It's for the edification of the people. You a pussy, bro. You ain't doing that for the people. That's your cap to make yourself sleep at night. You know what I'm saying? Because whether we in the word or not, bro, I'm still a man, and I'm going to treat you like a man. And I was raised that men have conversations when they don't see eye to eye on a matter. So if we talking about the word, and I say, hey, bro, I done gave my phone number to a lot of niggas. Niggas, you be crazy. You put your number on Facebook, so what? If I don't want to talk to a nigga, I hang it up. What if people get your number, go to calling you? You don't know how to hit end? And that too, and I ain't a blocking type dude. So hey, let's hear. And I was gonna mention that. That's the ultimate way to stop it. Blocked. I ain't got to deal with you no more. It'll ring on your end, it won't ring on mine. So who cares? But I'm like, yeah, bro, we men. Let's talk about. Look here, man. Me and Trey cousin. You know why me and this nigga tight? Because there was a conversation being had. I say, bro, call my phone, bro. I was trying to understand where he was coming from. I can't understand where you coming from on no post. He said, all these niggas who were going back and forth, you the only nigga said called me. I said, bro, I just wanted to hear where you were coming from live. I said, yeah, bro, call my phone, bro. That's why me and Shaul tight to this day. That's my nigga. Call my brother, call me, bro. We can talk about it. It doesn't matter if you agree or disagree, but men's supposed to be able to talk to one another and not put on no show for attention. So when you go to talk about, let's have a debate, I know you know what I'm saying? You white front to back. That's what you do. You know what I'm talking about? You got some always in the closet. You use some Midol. You know what I'm saying? I'm cramping. You know what I'm saying? It's a little sweet in your blood, bro.
You right with him, give him chance to peace, man.
For sure. We talked to him. We probably been a couple months and talked to him too. Tried to just say he was up there in the city. So he don't live in Detroit no more. He don't stay there no more. Yeah, he been slid from like that. You know what I'm saying? He back. Yeah. Car back on the road. He back running the truck again. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, man, that's my nigga. You know what I'm talking about? So
You kept the pass on him.
yeah, I know you told me. You know what I'm saying? All of them, both of them are people right there, man. But it was just something as simple as, bro, just holler at me. Yeah. And not putting on no show for an audience. You know what I'm saying? If there's a disagreement between men should be able to talk to one another to get an understanding of where each party is coming from. And you can tell when you're not dealing with a man because he wants to be combative versus, all right, cool. Because see, with me, I want to understand whether I agree with you or not is irrelevant. I need to understand where you're coming from. Then if I can understand where you're coming from, then I can give a counterpoint to what you're saying, and maybe you can see my perspective. But the thing is, maybe I can see your perspective. See, this is where brothers get the game twisted at. I don't have to agree with your perspective to understand where you're coming from. You know what I'm saying? And every man should be mature enough to know that I can understand where you coming from, but not necessarily agree with it. And every man should be able to say, if there is a dispute on a matter with another man, that y'all should be able to sit down and have a conversation without an audience. Now, I'm not talking about regular stuff like brothers disagreeing on something that ain't got nothing to do with no word. You definitely should be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? If you can't do that, you got a problem. But if we're talking about word, doctrine, things of that nature, and you can't holler at this brother without putting on a show, and you need to have a debate in an audience and all that type in the third, you ain't really for you for yourself. You a goofy. Come on, man. 2 Chronicles 7. Oh, you out? No.
Yes, sir. All right.
Say it's a little late for him. 2 Chronicles 7 and 17. 7.
And as for you, if you will walk before me as David your father walked, and do according to all that I have commanded you, and you shall observe my statutes and my judgments, then will I establish the throne of your kingdom, according as I have covenanted with David your father, saying, there shall not fail you a man ruler in Yasharal.
Come on.
But if you turn away and forsake my statutes and my commandments, which I have set before you, shall go and serve other gods and worship them.
That's what's going to happen.
Then will I pluck them up by the roots out of my land, which I have given them.
I'm going to take you out of here.
And this house, which I have sanctified for my name, will I cast out of my sight.
I'm going to cast this house out of my sight.
A proverb and a byword among all nations.
I'm going to make it a similitude and a proverb unto everybody.
And this house, which is high, shall be an astonishment to everyone that passed by.
It's going to be, were they not astonished when they seen him? Ain't that what it said? Give them astonishment by definition.
Charmaine, that is to be desolate, appalled, to stun, stupefied.
They were stupefied. He was desolate. They seen it. Come on.
So that he shall say, why have Yahuwah done this
Why
unto this
have
land?
you done this to this what?
Land.
What they going to say?
And unto this house.
And to this house? What they going to say?
And it shall be answered, because they forsook Yahuwah Elohim.
Because they what?
Forsook Yahuwah Elohim.
Don't the book say, if you forsake me, I'll forsake you? And what did Yahushua say on the stake? Why have you forsaken me? Because they forsook him. Then guess what? God had to forsake his house. He had to forsake his own son because the people forsook him. Read that part again for him.
And it shall be answered, because they forsook Yahuwah Elohim of their fathers, which brought them forth out of the land of Egypt, and laid hold on other gods and worshipped them.
And did what?
And served them.
And served them.
Therefore have you brought all this evil upon them.
So therefore all this evil fell upon Yahushua, because these people worship other gods and worship them. He had to forsake his house. I didn't want y'all to see that, understand that. We had anything else we was holding? I don't believe so. Yeah, we good with Chronicles. We done established that Job was righteous in his own eyes. We need to pull a few more things out of here with Elihu going off on them boys. So come on, and Sean, and get me Job 34:1 and let it roll.
Furthermore, Elihu answered and said, hear my words, O you wise men.
Hear his words.
And give ear unto me, you that have knowledge.
For the ear,
try words.
As the mouth,
taste meat.
That's why he say try every spirit, whether they be a Elohim. Because he say as the ear try words, because faith come by hearing, and hearing come by the word, and the mouth taste meat. You need to make sure you testing what these people talking about. Let him say, let us choose.
To us judgment.
Let us know.
Among ourselves what is good.
That's why he say, let your life be a living sacrifice, that you might prove what is the acceptable, good, and perfect will of Elohim. So we need to choose to us judgment. You need to choose what's right before Yahuwah. Continue.
For Job have said,
I am righteous.
and Elohim
have taken away my judgment. Get what he said? If I'm righteous because of the works of the law, he done took away my judgment. And guess what? Yahushua was righteous according to the works of the law. We didn't finish Exodus 23. Go ahead and let that run for me, man. Tell me what verse we in, man. Give me verse 3 in Exodus 23. It'll tell me.
Neither shall you countenance a poor man in his cause. If you meet your enemy's ox or his ass going astray, you shall surely bring it back to him
He
again.
said you shouldn't turn your face from. Hold on, back that up. Verse 3 again. Shoot, started at verse 1, man, just in case we done missed something.
You shall not raise a false report.
Don't be lying.
Put not your hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness.
Guess what? Don't be around here proud, running, telling lies, a false witness, right? Those are one of the things he hates.
You shall not.
Hold on, didn't they go get false witnesses against the Lord? Come on now.
You shall not follow a multitude to evil.
You shall not what?
Follow a multitude
Don't have
to evil.
feet swift to run into mischief.
Neither shall you speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment.
So don't be running your mouth to decline judgment.
Neither shall you poor man in this cause.
Guess what? Now you're trying to sow discord.
If you meet your enemy's ox or his ass going astray, you shall surely bring it back to him again.
That's right.
If you see the ass of him that hates you lying under his burden,
Go down to verse 7. You don't need all that.
Keep you far from a false matter.
Keep you far from what?
A false matter.
From what?
A false matter.
Keep yourself away from lies.
And the innocent and righteous slay you not.
The innocent and the righteous do what?
Slay you not.
The innocent and the righteous don't do what?
Slay you not.
That's why he said, right, that go with his law. He said anybody who shed innocent blood is an abomination to him.
For I will not justify the wicked.
Do what?
Justify the wicked.
He won't do what?
Justify the wicked.
Over. Go ahead, finish it off.
And you shall take no gift, for the gift blind the wise and pervert the words of the righteous. Also, you shall not oppress a stranger.
That's good. That man said he will not make a criminal righteous. That's why he say a good tree can't bring forth corrupt fruit. You can't be no criminal and be righteous, boy. You see how that work, that a just man falling 7 times can't be nobody who no sinner? Because he said he won't justify the wicked. And guess who need the law? A sinner. But get what we read earlier, what he said, the blessedness that David spoke. Blessed is he who what? Sins are forgiven, no work required. There was no work required to get you out of Egypt. There was no work required, only faith. That's all that was needed. And then that faith was supposed to do what? Produce obedience to the word that he gave him after the fact. Because guess what? If somebody really bring the gospel to you first, you don't even hear no law. Remember what Paul said, keep the ordinances as I delivered them unto you? You get that after. Y'all ain't never noticed, for the majority of y'all in here, you ain't getting no law till after you heard the gospel. You notice we ain't never sat in here and focused on what no law say. You got that after. And then that ain't even hard. We ain't spending no time talking, you ain't got no business doing this, doing that. What we spending all that time for? Hey man, this is what you don't eat. This how your wife should dress. And you don't do this, and that's it. It's not that difficult. What is that? What laws do we really need to sit back and comb through that you ain't? Don't none of y'all own no oxes and asses. Ain't nobody in here loaning nobody no money, charging no interest. You know what I'm talking about? You need somebody to really break down why you shouldn't be eating pork. I done told you before, I done seen brothers have whole lessons about the dietary law. Man, that's a waste of somebody's time, man. I wouldn't dare disrespect y'all like that. What's the lesson for today? Oh, we're going to talk about Leviticus 11 and the dietary law. If y'all niggas didn't get up and go home, boy, I'd look at all y'all crazy. Because that's what I would do. I'm going home. Because I could have read this out of the house in 30 minutes and figured this out. I'm going home. You know what I'm saying? Do we really need to talk about how you don't need to be pulling out your penis and putting it in another man's wife? You know what I'm talking about? Like, only thing with the Sabbath would be, okay, what can and can't do? It's not difficult. Is that a long, drawn-out conversation? I don't think it is. The only time it's difficult when you don't know. Some people look at it and they be like, man, that girl didn't know. Hey, man, When women come around like this here, right? I ain't gonna be like, oh, you don't need to wear this here. I think if she's perceptive enough, she's gonna look at the people around her and notice that there's a difference between her and them. And then if she was serious about the word, you know what she gonna do? She gonna ask a question. Whether she ask me or ask one of y'all, she gonna ask a question. I notice y'all don't wear this and y'all don't do this. Because she's gonna be paying attention. And if she wanna really serve Yahuwah, and let me tell y'all something too, right? I can't, and I don't know if I done said this on tape, but let me put it. I don't care what other congregations do. That's them. That's their business. We do what we do over here. You ain't got to come over here if you don't agree with it. You don't even scream like that. You know what I'm saying? Like our women don't wear jewelry at all. No earrings, no rings. They do wear watches and whatnot. They don't wear any of that. You know what I'm talking about? If you feel like, hey, we could wear that, that's fine. We're not gonna sit back and look at you and be like, oh, you wicked woman, why you got this jewelry on? You know what I'm talking about? But our women don't. Our women don't wear pants. And I'm telling you this here, for any woman who lives like, if you was to come through and you had pants and jewelry on, I'm telling you that none of these women would look at you and be like, look at this heifer, this Jezebel whore. They don't care. You know what I'm talking about? They ain't even thinking twice about it. There ain't no thought in their mind. Look at this whore. You know what I'm talking about? Look at Lisa. I do. You know what I'm saying? No, they're not going. Ain't nobody gonna look at you like this, that, there, and the third. Cause guess what? We don't know where you come from, and whoever you may congregate with, and what y'all do. That's what y'all do. But we don't, and we're not gonna change that to accommodate somebody. You know what I'm talking about? This is what we do. Eventually, you either gonna do that or you gonna slide. You know what I'm talking about? And that's it. You know what I'm talking about? We had to get Civic and Tavon had a little run. They used to like to post pictures with their shirt off. But we had to tell brother, man, stop showing people your man. Look at Mike. Mm-hmm. At first, it got me bothered, but then it got bothered. That's how you were looking. I'm telling you. I used to tell them, why you got out here showing off your chest? Nobody want to see your nipple, but nah, man, you ain't gonna see nobody around here talking about, look at me, except for this nigga here. He want to say he a trainer. He got an excuse. He don't put muscle on. He want to show niggas now. It took him a long time. He couldn't put none on.
If you run up, you get done.
Look at it. This is part of the job description. Had around here to show his cat. Nigga, put a shirt on. Nigga. You know what I'm talking about? That nigga good for walking around and want to show a nigga his titty nipple.
always have my shirt.
That is a fact. That's why I said that. I just said that. He always want to show a nigga his titty nipple.
No. You go to my house, I might not have a shirt on. You used to be on the screen. You definitely used to be in the background.
That's right.
No shirt on.
That's right.
Niggas going on this. It's only him at my house.
Oh man, look at talking about go ahead. Tavon definitely used to be good with making a video with no shirt on, with some move something shorts on. You know that nigga like to wear them doggone, what they call them? Them workout shorts. He want to show some quad, talking about look at my teardrop. That's what he was going to do. You know what I'm talking about? That nigga good for I'm just boxing. Nigga, bro, put a shirt on. See if he tried to be smooth with it like he was flexing. Nigga ain't been in the gym since.
Damn. That's right. That's right.
That nigga took one picture with no shirt on. He ain't been back. I had him in there yesterday. That nigga did be moving slow. That nigga like, well, I hope this nigga hurry up and get done so I can go.
Look, I wanted to show you 10 minutes older, man.
10 minutes?
We're going out the door.
Nah, Simmy gonna get on that court.
In 2 hours, man.
Nah, Simmy say, I don't lift no weight, but I get on that court, I'm gonna grind you niggas up. Ain't that right? Simmy gonna get that. You gonna get on that court now. He ain't gonna grab no steel. What's going on, Tommy? He ain't gonna grab no steel. He can grab that basketball. Huh? That's what I'm saying. That's what I know. No, that's what I know. I've been buzzing the ball, but if you give him a choice of a barbell and a basketball, and it's 9 men finna run, Simmy finna get on that court. I don't know what you're pausing because now niggas running. Well, hey, man, if you visualize a nigga running with testicles, that's on you. I'm talking about, I ain't got nothing to do with that. But come on, man. Job 34 and 5.
Yeah, but if you visualize, man.
For Job have said, I am righteous, and Elohim have taken away my judgment.
He's taken away my what?
Judgment.
Should I lie?
Against my right.
My wound
is incurable without transgression.
What man?
Like Job.
That drink up?
Scorning like water.
Remember what he said? Blessed is the man who don't sit in the seat of who? Scorners. You ain't got no business sitting around nobody who around here mocking you. You ain't got no business doing that. Listen to what he said.
Which goeth in company with the workers of iniquity.
And walk
with wicked men.
He said,
it profit a man nothing that he should delight himself with Elohim.
He said it ain't no gain or no value for you to take pleasure in Elohim, because he was trying to justify himself.
Therefore hearken unto me.
Listen to me.
You men of understanding.
Far be it
from Elohim.
Go ahead.
Wickedness and the Almighty iniquity.
He ain't gonna do no wickedness or iniquity. Listen to what he say.
For the work of a man shall he render unto him.
And cause every man
to find according to his way.
He gonna give you back according to what you did. Yea, surely.
Elohim will not do wickedly.
Neither will the Almighty
pervert judgment.
Who have given him a charge over the earth.
And who have exposed the whole world.
But see, look at what the point of what he's trying to tell him. Boy, hush. Nobody want to hear all that.
If he said it's
you too, that's good. Man, that's good. That's good. Come back over here to verse 29. Drop down to verse 29 in Job 34. Remember, right? Because this was started because we just had to complete it. I'm just establishing with you that Elihu noticed that Job was seeking to justify himself or be justified by the law versus being justified by the faith that's in Elohim. And of course, Job came to this realization, as we already read in Job 42, that I sought to justify myself instead of being justified in Yahuwah, trying to defend myself against wicked men. So that's why when you see Yahushua in that same situation, he did not do that. You know what I'm talking about? He did not try to justify himself by all these good works I done. Remember when he said they came and they were finna stone him? He said, for these good, we say, which good work you stone me for? He said, for good works, we stone you not. But being a man, you make of yourself Elohim. And right after that, he hit him across the head with some faith. He said, don't your word say, you are God? How you going to say I blaspheme when the Father sanctified me and I say I'm the son of Elohim? He said, if you don't believe me for what I say, believe me for what I do. But remember, he was doing according to what? Faith. So that means he was doing according to what we read in Job 16 and 19. My witness is where? In heaven. And my record is on high, because faith without works is dead. So therefore his works were alive because it was done in faith. Why? Because you will, my flesh rest in hope. You will not suffer your Kadash one to see corruption. You will not allow me to perish, but I will resurrect from the dead. And it actually tell you I will awake with your likeness. Go ahead and get him Psalm 16 and 9, man. Shoot, make it 7, because that's what's on my mind. Yeah, he's thinking booty, baby. Psalm 16 and 7.
I will Baruch Yahuwah, who have given me counsel. My reins also instruct me in the night seasons.
What is instruct? Remember what are reins? Look up reins by definition. Notice it said his reins. Give him reins and instruct.
Let's kill y'all.
Kill y'all. You know that's the kidneys or the best part, your inward part. So get what he said. The inward man. Give him instruct. That means to correct. That means to rebuke. So that means in the night season, his heart corrected him. And in the night season, what did he do? If it be possible, let this cup pass. But not my will be done, but my will be done. So it's showing you that the inward man, that's taking you back to what's in that 2 Corinthians chapter 10, that every thought that exalts itself against the knowledge of Mashiach, to bring it what? Into captivity. to cast it down, because your inward man should correct you in the night seasons. Or we could take it a step further, when you're walking through the valley of the shadow of death, if you would. See, people don't want to sit back and look at it. What corrected Mashiach at that particular time? It was the word that was in him. See, if the word ain't in you, it can't do nothing for you. See, if you need to go open up your Bible app, if you need to open up your book to know what to do, you're in a bad spot, because the word should already be coming to your mind to tell you what to do, because it should be in you. It should be dwelling in you, and you in it. Because if you dwelling in the word and the word dwelling in you, then you dwelling in Yahuwah and Yahuwah dwelling in you. And if Yahuwah dwelling in you and you dwelling in Yahuwah, guess what that means? Then you live by him. And if you live by him, then you should never taste death. Ain't that what he told you? Because if the word dwelling in you and you dwelling in it, guess what mean? That means you believe it. And if you believe it, didn't he say, whosoever live and believe me? See how he told you the just shall live by their faith? Because if you believe him, you're going to live by him. You know what I'm talking about? So when the word in your heart, you believe it. And when you believe it, you're going to live by it. If you got to always go reference the word on what to do, you're not laying the word up in your heart. You memorizing it. You don't need to memorize. Man, I told you, man, there been plenty of times I used to preach in the street and brother be like, oh, you memorized this. I ain't memorized nothing. You know what I'm saying? Brother be like, man, you calling stuff, you driving around. This ain't no memory, brother. I told you, man, by the grace of Yahuwah, I told you years ago. You was in the street, man. He like, man, you ain't got no time to be going in here, opening up no book, boy. He said, I got to be in your heart. You got to spit it and go. You ain't got time to do that. See, a lot of brothers don't realize that. When you're in the street, man, you might got 5-10 minutes with somebody. You ain't got no time to be opening up no Bible, talking about go here and go here and go there and go there. You ain't got time for that. You got to give him the word and let the word do his thing once you gone. You forgot what he said in Isaiah 50? Somebody get Isaiah 50 and 1. I think people done forgot. You forgot. You always forget. It's that coffee. But you need some coffee before 11 o'clock at night.
This say Yahuwah.
Come on, man. Isaiah 50 and 1. Praise Yahuwah.
Thus say Yahuwah. Where is the bill of your mother's divorce?
That's right.
Whom I have put away.
Make it verse 4. Get to the point.
Gotcha. And Yahuwah Elohim have given me the tongue of the learned.
Yahuwah Elohim have given me the tongue of the learned,
that I should know how to speak a word in season to him that is weary.
to know to speak a word in season to him that is weary.
He wakes morning by morning. He wake my ear to hear as
so morning by morning, he give me an ear of faith. Come on.
Open my ear, and I was not rebellious, neither turned away back. I give my back to smiters.
That's good. He said he opened my ear and I didn't rebel against what he was telling me. See, a lot of people hear the gospel and they rebel against it. They call you a Christian, they'll call you this, they call you that, because they don't believe it. They don't believe it. I'm here to tell you, I'm telling you, man, I keep telling y'all this because I've been in this game for a long time. People don't believe the word. They don't believe it. They don't have no hope in it. They don't expect to receive anything from this man. They don't even believe this man has anything to give. That's why you see people, I'm waking up to my heritage. I woke up to God. I ain't wake up to no heritage. I'm telling you that right now. Well, I take that back. I did, because it was the heritage that come from heaven. Because heritage means inheritance. You know what I'm saying? I didn't inherit a bloodline. I inherited the service and covenants of Elohim. That's how I look at that. That means that gave me access to him. Does that mean? But just like Paul said, if we wanted to boast in our flesh, we could do that. What did he say? Circumcise the 8th day, right? From the seed of Abraham, or the stock of Benjamin. If that's what we wanted to do, we could do that. If we wanted to boast in being an Israelite, we could do that. But we'd rather make our boast in Elohim. Like I said, I didn't come in on, I heard we was Israelite, but that's not how I was brought in the game. I wasn't brought in like that. I wasn't brought in to focus on my flesh. I was brought in by faith. That's how I was brought in. That's the direction that he took me in. You understand? I came in strictly on believer, believe on me as the scripture has said. That's how I came in the game. I don't know no other way. I ain't come in no other way. I ain't come in historically. I didn't come in no other way but believe on the Son of God. That's how I came in the door. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't ridiculing nobody else who came in whatever way they came in. I'm just telling you, you're not going to get that focus over here because I didn't come in the door like that. You know what I'm saying? I can't speak on what he gave another, but I can tell you the pack he gave me, though, and I'm putting it on the block for you. You know what I'm talking about? You could do what you want to with it. But at the end of the day, Yahuwah going to be esteemed one way or another. Why I got your hold of it? We finna wrap up, man.
Isaiah 50.
Nah, he read Isaiah.
Oh, he read that.
He wasn't in nowhere else, was
No, unless you want to finish the Psalm 16.
Yeah, Psalm 16. Praise God.
Psalms 16 and 8.
Psalm 16 and 8. She did it again? Well, she ain't never changed. Muffin, you changed her? I think she boo-booed again. That nigga definitely got my shorts smelling like her butt. Ain't nothing funny about it. You know you don't wipe your butt. Dingleberry boy. Your mama laughing, so it must be true. She said, who you telling? I get tired of cleaning them drawers.
I have set Yahuwah always before me.
I set Yahuwah always before me.
Because at my right hand I shall not be moved.
I shall not be what?
Moved.
Shall not be what?
Moved.
I keep telling y'all, boy, we will not be moved.
Therefore my heart is glad and my esteem rejoice. My flesh also shall rest in hope.
My flesh rests in hope. Why?
For you will not leave my soul in hell.
You will not leave my soul in the grave.
Neither will you suffer your Kadash one to see corruption.
That's right.
You will show me the path of life. In your presence, fullness of joy.
That's right.
At your right hand, pleasures forevermore.
At your right hand, what forevermore?
Pleasures.
What?
Pleasures.
What?
Pleasures.
Okay. You see that? Give me Psalm 17 and 11 with haste. Make it 10. 10 on my mind. Just read verse 9 and tell me what that says.
From the wicked that oppress me.
From the who?
Wicked that oppress me.
Come on.
My deadly enemies compass me about.
Ain't that what they said? They came about him with swords and staves. And I'm here to tell you, when the time comes, these people going to swarm you about. And just like he told you, it's people who going to do Elohim service who going to put you to death. It's people who claim that Yahuwah is their Elohim and Yahushua who is their Redeemer who going to put you to death. I want you to be aware of that. You know, I've been telling y'all that for years. I don't want you to walk around here thinking it's going to be somebody who don't look like you who going to come put you to death, because it wasn't no Philistines who came and got Samson. Them were Jews that came and got Samson and gave him over to them people. There wasn't no Romans who came and got the Lord. Them was Yahudim who went and grabbed that man and took them to them people. Every prophet in this book who you read about getting killed, it wasn't no stranger who put him to death. That wasn't no stranger who put Zechariah to death in the book of Chronicles when he stood up and said, why y'all disobey God? There was Yahudim who put that man to death. So you lying to yourself if you think these people going to come kill you because you are Israelites. These people going to come kill you because they hate Elohim's word. They're going to come kill you because you hold the testimony of life and you stand on that, because we will not be moved. See, this is the thing with a lot of people, man. They can be swayed and they can be moved. Boy, I cannot be moved, boy. You know why we can't be moved? Go ahead and get me Hebrew 12, man. Verse 22. Give me Hebrew 12 and 22, man. You know what I'm talking about? Boy, we like my Zion, boy. That's what Psalms say. He quoting the Psalms in this Hebrew 12. That's why I'm telling you that. But Hebrew 12 and 22, let it go.
But you are coming to Mount Zion and unto the city of the living Elohim.
You come to Mount Zion, the city of Elohim, the living Elohim.
The heavenly Jerusalem, into an innumerable company.
Look at that, heavenly Jerusalem. So we talking about after heaven and earth done passed. We talking about where there ain't no death, ain't no cursing, ain't no tears. All things are passed away. Everything new. We stand on that. Come on, man.
To the general assembly and church of the firstborn.
We're talking about to the assembly of the firstborn. You understand? The body of those who are in Mashiach, the body of those who come out of Jacob. Don't you understand that even though Jacob was the younger, when he got the blessing of the firstborn, that made him the body of the firstborn and all those who emanated from him? That's why he said Yasharal is my son, my firstborn. That's why he said that. Come on, man.
To the General Assembly and Church of the Firstborn, which are written in Shamahim, and to Elohim, the Judge of all, and to the Ruachs of just men made perfect.
Just righteous men made perfect.
And to Yahushua, the mediator of the new covenant.
That's right.
And to the blood of sprinkling that speak better things than of Abel.
Speak better things than the blood of Abel.
See,
Hold on, because we just talked about this last night too, didn't we? He said the blood of Mashiach speaketh better things than Abel. That means it's better gifts with that blood. We talking about eternal life with this atonement. We talking about getting a tabernacle from Shamahim with this blood. You understand? We talking about having a mediator who will accept. You understand? See, we be dealing with the word, man. Niggas be on all type of stuff, man, making all types of moves, you dig? But a lot of them ain't standing on the word, though. A lot of people don't really want what this man had to give because they don't want to give nothing to him. I keep telling y'all this for years also. Man, this man gave his life up. And I ain't even talking about coming in the flesh. Now you knock it open, I'm going to knock your teeth dead out your mouth. You know what I'm talking about? Now, see, we sit around here, man, and we talk about all this stuff this man done did, and we ain't even looking at the fact like we talked about in the last week. That this man for love gave up what? All his wealth, all his substance and value. He gave all that up for love. You know what I'm talking about? And then gave his life up. And you can't give your flesh up. You can't give your desires up. You can't give sin up. That ain't even difficult to relinquish. Look here, right? Now, see, Tameen can tell you, I'll slide in his room, but I don't be sliding in all these bruised rooms, hearing all these grown men cackling like little hoes, arguing like small churn. It's only two people room word-wise I'm going to go in. And Tommy rock with Zadok, and Zadok, my nigga, he been my nigga for a decade. So I know if you rock with him, you got to be solid. That means we can have a conversation that can be beneficial to people. I'm not talking with the rest of these niggas, man. You know what I'm saying? We rock with mine because mine, he all right, man. You know what I'm saying? You can be on some other stuff, but nigga, all right. But it's more so, it's people in there, we can give them a different perspective of the word that they ain't never heard before. You know what I'm talking about? And that's it. Not fooling with these niggas, man. Because we ain't got time for it. Don't you understand people's souls on the line? Your soul is on the line. But one day your eyes are going to be open with no life in it. Your chest ain't going to go up and down with breath. Yes, sir. You know what I'm talking about? This ain't no game, man. This ain't something we just read just to read. This ain't something we just... See, niggas on the internet talk about the word just to talk it. Nigga, this is my life. I would do this without the internet. Nigga, if it wasn't for Chanel... Amen, Mother Sharona. If it wasn't for Chanel and this man, we wouldn't be on this stream. I'm telling you right now. It ain't never crossed my mind to put that together. We don't do this for no show. We could be right in here. Get what? We could do the same thing. No, some of y'all know before we had that Ustream didn't work in the library on Saturday, did it? And we ain't record nothing. Did you ever see? Oh, we got to record it. I didn't give a damn. If you wasn't there, you wasn't gonna get it. We don't need no cameras. This ain't for no show. This for Yahuwah. Man, y'all understand, man. We talking about believing on him as the scripture has said, right? And what are we believing? That he suffered, and that he died, and that he rose from the dead. We literally just talked about the other day. He said, man, for love, a man to give up his whole house for love. It'll be utterly contempt. He'll give up all his substance for love. A man gave up his whole wealth, value, and everything for love. And you mean to tell me you can't love him back? Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. You ever been snared? You ever had a nail go through your hand before? You ever had a nail go in your foot? I have. It hurts. Now, I couldn't even imagine, and it only went through the bottom of my foot. I could only imagine taking a nail and driving it through the top, that'd go all the way through. I can't even imagine that, taking a nail and hammering it through the top of your foot all the way through. I just stepped on a nail. And I ain't going to tell you no lie. The pain in my foot, at the moment I stepped on it, I thought about him. I say, boy, if it hurt like this here, I can only imagine what he went through. You know what I'm talking about? I can only imagine. Because that's what I'm like, I got a nail in my foot. And that's just where my mind went at the time. Well, I done stepped on a lot of nails too, because you know I work in slides. Them nails going straight through. You know what I'm talking about?
You still working?
Of course you
Absolutely. But we was demoing a shed, so you know, come with the territory. What I want to wear boots for?
So you want to step on a nail, nigga?
Nigga, them things uncomfortable.
Step on nails.
Step on a nail.
You know what I'm saying? Hurt for a little while, you know what I'm saying? Nigga step on there. Out back, you know what I'm saying?
Step on nails every day.
Every day, you know what I'm saying? Walk around them heavy behind boots on, man.
Actually, they make like that.
Definitely.
I got a pair.
Yeezy boot. It's my Yeezys.
I definitely got a
You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying that because when you look at a man, because he love, that's why I tell you like this here, man, you can't say you love this man and you ain't willing to give nothing up for him. That man gave up his seat in heaven for you. You know what I'm talking about? That's right. You already know. That's why we keep referencing Adam, because Adam gave up his dominion for love. He didn't give up that dominion because he's a simp. That man was trying to show you the love of God. He was born of God. You born of God, love in you. He loved his wife enough to say, I'll lay my life down for you and give up my substance that you might live. Don't you realize, guess what, man? He made Adam. Don't y'all understand that he could have wiped him out like he told Moses he would wipe us out? And Moses made intercession. That's why the man laid his life down, because if he didn't, Eve was gone. Oh, they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. They didn't want to say he was simping for his wife. He was this for his wife. That's you, ho, nigga. You the simp, nigga. You wicked, unbelieving bastard, talking down on a man more righteous than you. Shut your mouth. That's all these niggas be doing, and talking down on men more righteous than him. This man is declared according to the text to be the son of Elohim. You shut your mouth. Get some understanding, then talk. That man laid his life down in the similitude of the man who gave his greatest gift. And you running your mouth against a man more righteous than you. You ain't declared to be a son of Elohim in the book of Yahuwah, so shut your mouth, ho nigga. Because you simping, so you want to put that simping on him. Don't you put that simping on Adam, nigga. That's you. Don't you realize all the simps like to put the simps on the real niggas? Adam was a real one, man. Because if he didn't do that and say, you know what, Eve bumped that jump, Eve was going to the grave. And guess what that meant? Yasharal was too. Have you forgotten that the Lamb was slain from the foundation of the world? It's got to be according to the pattern that he did in the mount. But they don't want to hear that because they don't trust in God. Come on, man. What I got you holding, bro?
Hebrews 12.
Hebrews 12. What verse you in? Man, run 23 back one more time.
To the general assembly and church of the firstborn, which are written in Shamahim, and to Elohim, the judge of all, and to the Ruachs of just men made perfect.
That's
and
right.
to Yahushua, the mediator of the new covenant, and to the blood of sprinkling that speak better things than that of Abel.
Hey, pause. Hold on. Sister Kelly asked, what about the blame game? She just asked, you okay? You could look at, man. Don't never be scared to ask no questions. And you'll never be ridiculed for asking no questions. Because you ain't no teacher trying to tempt nobody. You asking for edification and clarification and understanding. So don't never be scared to ask no questions. The blame game is done by people who lack understanding of the word. So they don't understand. Was Eve in the transgression? Yes, she was. But Yasharal was in the transgression because Eve is symbolic of Yasharal and the disobedience of Yasharal by having an idol in her heart. You know what I'm talking about? And Adam is symbolic of Yahusha and willing to lay his life down for his wife. Because greater love have no man than this, that a man lay his life down for his friends. So she was flesh of his flesh and bone of his bone. That was his friend. If he don't lay his life down, then she perishes. If Yahusha don't lay his life down, then we perish. See, people want to get in the blame game because men have had negative experiences with women and women have had negative experiences with men. So when they read the story of Adam and Eve, they are projecting the negative experiences they had of the opposite sex on these people because they lack understanding and they have a carnal mind. So when you have a carnal mind, you're only going to see a carnal outcome. So you're not going to see a man because jealousy is cruel and or whatever the case may be. Give me Songs of Solomon 8 and 6 because I'm saying it wrong. When I say it wrong, we got to hear it. Songs of Solomon 8 and 6. We finna get ready to get off here because we got a double dip tomorrow.
Set me as a seal upon your heart.
Set me as a seal upon your heart.
Seal upon thy arm. For love.
Praise God. I mean,
for love is as strong as death.
Love is strong as death.
Jealousy is cruel as the grave.
Jealousy is cruel as the grave.
And coals thereof the coals of fire.
That's right.
Most vehement flame.
That's right.
Many waters cannot quench
Many
love.
waters can't quench love.
Neither can floods drown it.
Floods can't drown it.
If a man would give all the substance of his house for love.
If a man would give all his substance of his house for love, it would be utterly contemned. He would find it despised and insignificant. What did we can see in the law? Esau despised his birthright. And you see Yahushua for love despised his own birthright by being willing to walk away from it in order for you to get it. That's Songs of Solomon 8 and 5 and verse 6. But Tommy just put this here in the chat, talking down on Adam as Exodus 22 and 28. You shall not revile the Elohim nor curse the ruler of your people. And we know that Adam was made as Elohim, right? He was the first Yasharal, and you putting your mouth on a man more righteous than you, you ought to go to hell. On the first thing smoking, and I ain't talking about the grave this time. I'm talking about the valley of Himnon, the valley of Tophet. You ought to burn where the worm dies not and the fire should not be quenched. You know, there's too many whole niggas out here who feel like they can talk on men more righteous than them. You shut your mouth, you sinful bastard. How you gonna be running around here sinning, talking about men who got a memorial in heaven? You ought to be slapped dead in your mouth. I ain't talking about going to the bathroom and slap yourself. Somebody ought to walk up to you and slap you dead in your mouth. You ain't got no business putting your mouth on men more righteous than you. Don't you know Aaron and Miriam got in trouble for that? You can't be putting, you think that stopped because you ain't standing before Yahuwah in the wilderness? Man, you can damn your soul talking about men who more righteous than you. You got men who mess up doing that with Solomon. Solomon's name written in heaven, boy, you better watch your mouth. You better use what he did as an example of what not to do. Not to feel like you can run your mouth and talk down on the man. Because that very man will judge you, stupid. Well, these niggas in 2022 too reckless with their mouth. You just found out about some word and you think you're going to talk about righteous men who got a memorial in heaven? You's a fool. But to go back to the point what the sister was asking about, the blame game is done by carnal people, baby. See, we don't participate in none of that. See, y'all know that. We ain't never sit around and see that doggone Eve. We don't do none of that. For what? What that going to do? What that's going to do? We know that what Eve did is what the text say. A man is enticed and drawn away by her own lust. Eve did that because that's what she desired. Is she any different than anybody else in the flesh? No. Yeah, the book say, hey, a woman who lives in pleasure, she's dead while she's living. Well, guess what? Yasharal lived in pleasure for many a season. And as y'all already know, if we're going to talk about a woman, that means we talking about men because men make up the body, do it not, and the body is his wife. So he talking about you, nigga. Why you want to blame a woman? Blame yourself, you wicked bastard you. See, it's easier to blame a woman as a weak, cowardly man who won't take accountability for his own wickedness. I ain't even talking about leading no woman or the women getting in order. Because one thing for certain, two things for sure, you shouldn't do nothing to get nobody in order. You should do it to get yourself in order. And if they're going to be in your presence and be in your life, then they ain't got no choice but to get in order or get left behind. That's right. You people crazy, man. Ain't never crossed my mind. Oh, this nigga's Adam, he a simp. Just check the background of the niggas who talk like that. Just check their background. I guarantee you it's a whole nigga in them. I guarantee you they done paid to stay. I guarantee you they got stories where a woman drug them. They complaining and mad every day, but she did me wrong, bro. You know what I'm talking about? Woman who want to blame, where was the man? Why wasn't he there to protect her? I guarantee you that's a woman who had a daddy and she ain't listened to him. I guarantee you that's a woman who had counsel and she rebelled against it and looking for somebody to blame for her bad decision making. We ain't gonna play none of them games. You're responsible for your own choices. You did what you did because that's what you wanted to do. You knew what could happen when you was doing. And now when it went sour, now you want to be the victim. You ain't nobody shedding no tears for you. You some type of games, nigga. You grown. That's all these grown hoe niggas in that want to do is blame somebody for their own stupidity. Don't nobody want to hear that. See, it's the woman. If a woman got you going sideways, you ain't even a man. If a woman can influence you to do something you don't want to do, you ain't even a man. You know what I'm saying? I can see if a man influence a woman because they're receivers and they're more susceptible to being influenced. But if you a man and you influenced by a woman to do something wrong or something you ain't want to do, you ain't even no man. So why would we want to talk to you? Man, I've told you that, man, I'm gonna say it. Some of these niggas will go to jail, they have to grab their ankles. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up and down. They wouldn't make it. They wouldn't make it. You know what I'm saying? It's certain environments, boy, you're going to have to be a man when you're in them environments. You know what I'm saying? That don't mean you got to walk around like I'm a killer, I'm going to beat a nigga up. You might have to be prepared to fight. You know what I'm saying? But you have to be a man. A lot of these dudes who be on these platforms on this word, boy, they not men and they couldn't maintain an environment filled with men. You know what I'm talking about? Whereas dudes who you either going to be the hunted or the hunter. You know what I'm talking about? A lot of these dudes will get ate alive. Talking all that tough talk on the internet. Mad. I told you, man, a lot of these dudes ain't mad with women. They mad with their mammy. Go ask these boys. Some of these boys, my mom ain't never hugged me, man. She never gave me a hug, man. I just wanted my mama to love me. Well, you 35 years old, boy. You still on that? These niggas goofies, man. Shoot, no problem, babe. Come on, man. Hebrew 12 and 20. We get out of here, man.
And 25.
12 and 25.
See that you refuse not him that speak.
Please don't refuse him that speak from where?
For if they escape not who refuse him that spake on earth, much more we, if we turn away from him that speak from Shamaim, whose voice then shook the earth, but now he hath promised, saying, yet once more I shake not the earth only,
but the heavens also.
And this, yet once more, signify the removing of those things that are shaken,
that's
as
right.
Things that are made.
That's right.
But those things which cannot be shaken,
those things that cannot be shaken,
may remain.
May what?
Remain.
They're going to remain.
Wherefore we're receiving a kingdom which cannot be moved.
Can't be moved.
Let us have esteem whereby we may serve Elohim acceptably, with
reverence,
with
respect and godly fear. Now see, but Tamida put in here too, right? That Exodus 21 and 17, he that curses father and mother shall surely be put to death. And Adam is your father. And Eve is the mother of all living. It's a lot of people going to go. Let me tell you something, man. It's a lot of people going to go to hell because they run their mouth. Didn't this man tell you every idle word that come out your mouth, you going to answer to on the day of judgment? It's a lot of people going to go to hell for running their mouth. Better watch your mouth, nigga. You better put some doggone mirrors on your cheeks and watch it. Because you count yourself in trouble. We ain't holding nothing else, man. We'll pick the rest of this on tomorrow, man. It's about 11:35. Hallelujah for Yahushua in the word, man. I appreciate y'all time this evening, man. Prayerfully, y'all understood that aspect, but with Job, the contrast of being justified by faith versus being justified by the law and how his story manifests that. It's still some other nuggets we got to deal with. We'll go back and delve back into Job 27 because we prayerfully want to finish 27 and 28 before the feast is over with. But yeah, man, you know, don't be moved, man. Your faith should be unshakable and unbreakable and unmovable, if you will. But I bless y'all at the house in the name of Yahushua. Love y'all. Yahuwah willing, man. Tomorrow, we're going to pick it up at 3 o'clock. Probably go for about an hour and a half, and then, you know, we'll be coming back at about 8:30 for service for that night. So, yes, sir. So, yeah, y'all willing, man. That's when we going to bust a move. I'm just talking to the people on YouTube on those on Clubhouse. If any of y'all on Clubhouse got anything you want to add, then raise your hand, man. You can